It is a skill. It is a practice skill. It is a necessary skill.
Ooh, great blowjob.
Secret to a great blowjob is saliva, saliva, saliva.
It's important for us to learn from this because I think we lose because we beat ourselves.
You need to swallow it too.
I understand the problem here.
The people don't understand esophagus is the main player of the game.
Try to stay away from it as much as I can.
You can start by licking the dip.
I didn't understand it, but
Patrick Agyemang to Bambi or a newborn giraffe or what?
All right, welcome to Straight Red Card. Yeah, I don't know what you should drink tonight, Spencer. I can tell you what I'm drinking tonight. I'll be drinking another Golden Monkey. I got a 6-pack, so I got to drink this stuff, right? 9.5 alcohol by volume, Belgian style triple made by Victory, right here in the good old US of A. Not bad. That would be Downingtown, Pennsylvania, of all places. I've never been to Downingtown. I've been to Carlisle and lots of little places around Carlisle, including Philadelphia, but never really been to Downingtown before. I don't know where that is actually, but I'm sure it's special in its own way.
I've got Rams urine. I believe it's how it's worded.
Rams urine?
Yeah. If you can drink that shit, you could drink just about anything.
With the color, it doesn't look like urine at all. It looks more like still like semen, more like.
Yeah, it's Flint, Michigan water.
It's whitish.
No, it's I got a little margarita.
Okay.
And
margarita
some vodka Cristal.
Oh my God, you're like mixing the
red wine. No.
So much for taking a break from drinking.
Get fucked up, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went 48 hours without drinking. I deserve a treat.
So now you're just making up for lost time.
Yeah, made him super strong too.
Jackie D says Hoppy back to scoring hat tricks. Is that so? Because last weekend he rode Pine for 90. What did I miss?
I think it's for there's two teams though, because the team won like 10-0.
Yeah, we should probably double check that. If that's not with Sonderjiski's one team, then it means nothing. Because like I said, he didn't play last game at all. He rode Pine for 90. And we're talking Denmark here, people. So, yeah, you're not making a dent in Denmark. A dent in Denmark, then you're definitely not dropping dimes. It's a bunch of D's for you. Called alliteration, for those of you wondering.
Alliteration
all right. So we got vodka and moonshine out there. By the way, Brett, how do you feel about getting spit on?
It's not my favorite thing.
Guess it kind of depends on the context, doesn't it?
Yeah, really does. It had to have been for a 2 team because here's
it's the Danish Cup.
Oh.
They probably played some 4th division Danish team.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, they played Raklev.
Never heard of them. Raklev. Never heard of them. Never heard of them. Hey, but you know what? You don't pick your opponents. You just score on them. That's how that works, right?
Yeah.
So good for him for scoring a hat trick. Maybe that means they'll let him play the next game in the big boy league. What do you think?
I hope so.
Yeah.
But then again, like I said, they won 10-0. So I'm not sure how impressive even a hat trick was.
Yeah. I mean, good. It's a hat trick.
It's like me scoring 3 goals against my son's U12 team. Congrats.
Yeah, probably. That team, I haven't looked, but I'm guessing they're 3rd or 4th division in Denmark. That'd be my guess.
It didn't even say on transfer market.
And
usually it has like the league next to it, but
and even like the bottom 4 or 5 in Denmark's 2nd division. Yeah.
Bottom of the 1st.
Yeah, it gets a little questionable there. Yes, we know that Roldan was called. We will get to that later. All right, for the 82 of you already here, just 5 minutes in, that's good. That's actually really good. Anyhow, I did want to make a recommendation to you and others, and this is this Parmesan encrusted fillets. I cannot believe I'm saying this because I hate Gordon's stuff generally. I hate their fish. I hate their fish sticks. But I saw this and I'm like, okay, it's got like a 4 out of 5 rating on Myers. I'm going to give it a shot. I've never seen a frozen fish get a 4.5 out of 5 rating at my local Myers. I'm going to give it a go. And lo and behold, that was great, dude. It was really good. I had 3 crusted, and it's the real fillet too underneath. And it's Parmesan, right? Crust. So it maybe a little less carbs if it's just all breading.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really tasty. And I think
the bachelor life is finally getting the better of you here. Next, you're going to be like, I like cold hot dogs. They're the best.
Well, you know I love cold hot dogs, baby.
Hey.
All right, especially the frozen ones. Okay, so I kid. Parmesan crusted. I am going to call these guys. Well, I'm going to text them or put something. And I'm going to make sure they're our sponsor going forward.
Yeah, I can see them watching the show right now and listening to, I usually hate Gordon's fish. They're garbage, blah. But this is delicious.
Do you know what's absolutely disgusting that they make? Beer, it's their beer batter. It is so disgusting. They ruin good fish with that beer batter. It tastes like vomit. All right, so I had to get that out there because I'm not often shocked. And this, I live a fast life, especially on Thursdays and Mondays, right? You know what I mean, Brett?
Yeah.
Fast life. Between research, prepping for the show after getting back from work, there's not a whole lot of time left. And so sometimes I have to throw stuff in the oven and cook it and eat it, right? Last night, when I had time, I made shrimp scampi for myself. It was delicious. Not so much time today. So, boom. I pop in these Parmesan. They were delicious. Of course, I make my own tartar sauce, right? And I'm not talking about with my own semen. I am talking about like little mayo, a little sour cream, cut up pickles, cut up onions, and then a little bit of ranch, actually, and then some red wine vinegar, and stir, and let it sit in the fridge for a while. It's really good with these. So, anyhow, highly recommended. And we'll get to the call-ups. Don't worry.
Real quick, just so I don't get too far from the chat here. Jackie D says CR10. Well, he's not CR10. He has the nickname of CR7.
Yes.
Which is kind of strange because there's already a CR7.
Yeah.
I loved making that thumbnail.
Jack says, I add a little bit of cream to your tartar sauce. Okay.
Spencer Darty says, holy shit, Brett, those tabs.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to start getting to the show, I think, sooner than later.
It'll go by pretty quick.
Okay, I do want to say this. Listening to Alexi today, because he hung out with Poach right at that college football game.
Sure, yeah.
With Poach, this is what he came away with. Okay, he said, "No, this guy really believes in himself. He really thinks he's doing the right thing, and." He really does believe in the identity of the players and their personalities, not so worried so much about where they play. If that happens to be all the way through October, then we're in some deep doo-doo. And in the end, no, of course, Alexi doesn't believe in a quota. Certainly, I think all of us believe there is MLS influence, and we'll get to that later. And influence... yeah, there's no doubt there's MLS influence. Quota? No, I don't think so. We'll get to that. Timbo Slice, Derek, start, bench, drop. Start. I'm going to start Fleetwood Mac. I'm going to bench the Cars, and I'm dropping Van Halen.
That's the route that I would have gone to.
Wow. Yep. Not that I don't like Van Halen. I think Van Halen's Diver Down, for instance. Great album. Later albums, not such a fan of, like the earlier ones, Van Halen. Just me. Fleetwood Mac, I mean, they had so many good albums, so many great songs. It's ridiculous. And yeah, one of the greatest guitarists of all time plays in that band. Now the Cars did some special stuff before they did Who's Gonna Drive You Home Tonight, which was kind of on their way down, right? Rick Ocasek also, keep in mind, was the producer of the first Weezer album, or the first two, I think, which were both really good. And then kind of
back when Weezer was good, huh?
Yes, right, exactly. So
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I don't mind that song, but it's a little annoying.
I hate that. And I hate Hash Pipe. Those songs can just go away forever.
Yeah, they're just trying to make some money at this point, I think, or they're way out of ideas, right?
Both those songs are literally made for the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I think they've gone into hiding. I haven't heard anything too much about them for a while.
Here's the thing: I like the remake, their Africa remake or whatever.
Yeah,
I like that better than those songs, and they basically just copied and pasted the actual song.
They did some covers of like Radiohead songs that are awesome. Like, but their own songs nowadays. The Sweater Song is great, but that whole album is great. The whole album's great.
Stuff, Untouchables wants to know what I think about the Gorillaz. I like the Gorillaz a lot.
Yeah, I think the Gorillaz have some stuff.
What I love about the Gorillaz is that the stuff you hear on the radio is not their album. I mean, they fluctuate through so many different genres. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Before we leave, Say It Ain't So. Great song.
Great song.
Buddy Holly, great song. I mean, that album is full of good songs. So, yeah, at one point,
90s were legit, man.
Rivers Cuomo was a thing. Now, I think, by the early 2000s, it started to kind of wane. He's run out of ideas. Let's just put it there. All right. Okay.
We got Gorillaz are fantastic, most eclectic group. Clint Eastwood, I love the Gorillaz. Yeah, a lot of people like the Gorillaz.
Okay, good. Well, a lot of people should like Weezer, early Weezer, and then just leave the later stuff alone. All right. What else we got, Brett? Let's get going.
One-time fan of the show.
Long time fan of the show, Hangry Asian.
Yeah, Hangry's been around for a while.
What's he on here? What's his name?
I'll find out what his YouTube handle is.
Oh, okay.
He might be one of the Twitter followers.
Huh. So I have a sinus infection. So do I constantly, but not a sinus infection. I have allergies. I'm clogged all the time. It sucks. And so I can't wait for the summer and the spring to be over with. Usually, I mean, I love the weather, but not the heat. But I love
spring weather.
Oh man,
spring is fall. Give me those all the time.
I just wake up and I immediately start running. As soon as I leave the bedroom and I get any fresh air, bam. Anyhow, doctor looks in my ears and says, "It's amazing. You can hear it all. There's a lot of fluid back there." I reply, "So it's not my fault. Can you put that in a letter for my wife?" We both laughed. He didn't give me the note. Oh, we need to give you the note though.
Yeah, I told him it's time to find a new doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, by the way, crazy thing happened. I get home from work yesterday, and I turn the ignition of my car off, and the key snaps. And I got a key inside my ignition with a little nub sticking out. And I can't get it out. It won't come out. I can't get enough of a grip. I get some pliers, still won't come out. I'm like, oh, so I call. It's my last key, too, because my ex-wife lost all our keys for this car. I should have had an extra made, but never did. So I call what are the key guys called that make the keys? Locksmith. And they get out here around 5:30 or so. Okay. And the guy says, come here. Okay. So he's in my car in the driver's seat. He's like, look at this. Look what he said. Look at where your shift is. you're still in drive. That's why the key won't come out. I'm an idiot.
I agree with Matthew Dominguez here. Derek, my 10-year-old car doesn't even have a physical key.
Yeah, I know. But this is a 2007 Ford Focus, right? And
a Ford Focus.
I know. I'm sorry. I sold.
Want to conform to everybody else and say I want the same car everybody gets.
I sold my other 2 cars. They were too expensive to fix. When I moved here, I got rid of all my other cars, my Lexus and whatever.
That's fair. I mean, I guess Ford Focus. I mean,
and it's paid.
Anybody can fix that shit.
Yeah, it's been paid for since 2012. Like, I love it. I don't have to have a car payment. So this is great. And the car runs really well. It's details suck in it. But anyhow, so this guy, he's like, I'm not going to charge you for this. He pulls out the key. What's great is he goes over and makes 2 keys for me for, guess the price, $300 for 2 keys. Yeah.
For a physical key?
Yes, but they also have to put the chip in to the key, because this is, since 2001, Ford has a chip in the plastic part of the key that you can turn all you want unless you got the chip. The car will not start. So yeah,
that's how they get you.
That's how they get you, because they got to plug into your car and get the chip to mind meld with your chip on the new key. And so they did that. And so $300 later, I got 2 new keys that are brand new and no issues. God, I've had so many problems with this car. Flat tires. I had a tree hit my windshield. I had to have my whole windshield replaced. That was at work during a mini storm. Like, there are 80 cars parked in the parking lot. The branch fell off the tree and only hit my car right in the windshield. This was like a month ago. So I had to have that repaired too. Anyhow, that was my, you get home from work, you're like ready to relax and just chill out. And no, you can't get the key out of your car because it broke off, So anyhow, what a pain in the ass.
The first car I actually bought, like out of college, paid for my own monies, was like an early 2000s Alero. And
okay, what car company is that?
Shit car. It was a 2-door shit car.
Who makes the Alero?
I don't even know anymore. Alero.
Well, you already know with the name, they put no effort into it whatsoever, right? Yeah. What are you going to name it? Alero. Okay.
So I bought this car.
Oldsmobile.
I was paying it off, paid it off. Everything was going fine. Paid it off. Even paid it off earlier than was required of the loan for it.
Yeah.
And immediately after paying it off, because this is a used car, immediately after paying it off, every fucking month something went wrong.
Yeah, I bet.
Every fucking month, and I was just like, "Fuck this car." Traded it in for we ended up leasing a Civic.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up getting the Civic after the lease, and then my wife got T-boned in it. So
yeah, I could say this. Knock on wood. This is one of the most. This car is well into 150,000 miles at this point, and it is still going well. So knock on wood. The inside of me, my brain too of desires says buy a new car, Derek. You can afford it, dumbass. But my other part of me says I don't want to make $300 payments on a car. Even if I put a big chunk down, if I'm buying a new car, I'm not buying a Ford Focus. I'm going to buy something nice because I deserve it. I'm old, right? So I know I'm going to be paying some crap. So, unless I put all of it down, which I don't know why, my brain won't let me do it because it's such a big chunk of cash, right? Mm-hmm. And then you see it all drain out of your account at once. You're like, God damn, I just spent fucking $28,000. Ouch. I just don't want to do it. I don't know why. That's a mental block on my part, right? A mental block. Yeah.
Like you blew out your knee and you went out to the pitch again trying to make those cuts again. Never going to happen. It's all mental.
Yeah. Just, anyhow, I like having a lot of cash free to do investments and all that stuff. I don't want to.
What do you want to get a new car? Who are you trying to impress?
I want a new car because I like to be able to drive and feel like I'm enjoying it. I don't enjoy driving this car.
I hate driving.
I know, but I can't help thinking the reason I hate driving because I used to love driving my Lexus. You remember my Lexus? I loved that car.
Yeah, but you were younger and you had a little more. You still had life in your your bones. You're like, oh, life is great.
Yeah.
And now you've been beaten down. And it's like, fuck, I got to drive from point A to point B. I don't even want to drive to Meyer. God damn.
I know. I hate driving anywhere, dude. I really do.
Dude, it's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
It's when we went to Brett's Stock and everything, Chad ended up driving the entire way there and the entire way back. And at first I think to myself, I'm like, I feel bad. He's doing all the driving. But Chad doesn't mind driving. In fact, he would rather drive. I mean, he's like you in the sense that he'd rather drive to California than fly to California. Whereas I'm like, no, give me that fucking plane. I don't want to. I when he talks about driving to Florida, even that is like, it's 15 hours plus. I don't want to do that shit. But he makes the argument. He's like, yeah, but you got to get to the airport 2 hours ahead of time. Make sure you get through TSA. Then the plane takes off, and then you land. You got to wait to get your bags. Then you got to go and get a car. And by that point, I'm 3/4, if not almost to Florida. Why don't you just do that?
Let me put it this way. We once had a conference when I was at Hope Foundation in Birmingham, Alabama. And I had a dream that night that the plane was going to crash. So I woke up, the limousine came to pick me up, and I said, now you guys go into the airport without me. I'm driving. And I didn't tell them why, because I don't want to freak them out too. They're like, okay. Guess what? I got there 3 hours before they did. Yeah. They got held up everywhere, in every airport, every layover.
Well, he doesn't say if you have layovers too.
Yeah.
But you know what? Here's my thought process. I don't want to have to sit there and focus driving down a road 15 hours when I could just, focus on driving down a road for 40 minutes to the airport and then just sit in an airport for a couple hours,
drink.
I don't know. It's a matter of me wanting to just shut my brain off, not do anything, throw on YouTube or play a game. I don't want to sit there and focus on the road for 15 hours.
Yeah.
It's so fucking boring.
Even that drive to Nashville I made a couple of years ago, it was like a nightmare the whole way there. All right.
When you were telling that story, I literally thought you were going to start a Spark a Hole Final Destination thing.
No.
Like, I had a dream this plane was going to crash, so I'm like, I want to drive, and then the plane crashed.
It didn't, but
good.
They all made it there.
It would have been a really dark story to tell, Derek.
Yeah, they all made it there 2 or 3 hours after I did, and I got to take a nap in my hotel room before they got there and had to get ready immediately. All right. Anyhow, we should probably move on.
It would have been really dark and be like, yeah, I had this dream that the plane was going to crash. I didn't tell them why I wanted to drive. And then they fucking died, morons.
Half our conference staff died that day.
Oh, Lordy. Okay.
And I was the boss, so they're like, oh, you want to drive? Fine. There's no question. I wanted to drive, so I drove.
Derek,
I spent company money for the damn ticket, and I never used it. Anyhow, go ahead.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been that expensive at the time, given the year that you're flying.
$180 back then. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, did you know Bill Burr is not only a soccer fan, but was the coach of FC 20?
Okay. Well,
look, there's Bill Burr.
He does look a little like Bill Burr for sure.
Yeah. Or I posted it's like it looks a lot like Bill Burr. In fact, I had to do a double thing. Like, is that Bill Burr?
He got cut.
I saw FC 20. I was like, did he buy part of FC 20?
I can't believe they're firing him already. I know it's not been a great start to the season, but Jesus. I guess that means
like a couple games into the season. How could they? I mean, I guess Leverkusen did it, so why not?
Well, he seemed to favor Taylor Booth, so that might be the end of that. They kept losing. Taylor Booth kept starting. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but there's also 10 other starters there, too. That's a weird correlation.
Yeah, but Taylor Booth kept getting pulled pretty early in the second half. It wasn't good. And he wasn't playing that well either. You watched any of those games. So, Taylor Booth having issues over in Holland for sure. And I don't know what's happened since that injury, but he's just not the same guy.
That injury? I mean, he was plagued with injuries at Utrecht for 3 years straight.
But I heard that injury has caused a sort of tidal wave of other ones. So Billy Corgan's brother could be.
As it turns out, Bill Burr and Billy Corgan are stepbrothers, or not stepbrothers, they're half brothers.
Well, Billy Corgan has a rounder head, more like Charlie Brown.
Sure, I agree.
Yeah. I can tell you that.
I saw a whole back and forth between them on that.
I can tell you that from meeting him personally. Yes, that's somebody I've met personally before. Billy Corgan.
Name drop much there? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, son.
Yep.
You know the Footy Scram channel or Twitter handle? Or was it Scram, where they post like
Maybe
food at certain venues, like, hey, food at insert venue here for $10, and it's like a mountain of food, but then they show like one in the United States, and it's like a crappy cheeseburger and crinkle fries or whatever for $15.
No.
You would know if you really saw it. We showed it a ton.
I pretty much watched that food guy that travels all over Louisiana. He's been in Lafayette, New Orleans.
This is a Twitter handle.
Oh yeah. No, that's the same guy. He does Twitter too. But anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah.
U.S. Open Scram.
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 $100
chicken nuggets and caviar.
I'm not really sure how caviar would work on chicken nuggets.
Looks gross.
It doesn't look very good.
The chicken nugget looks fine, but the caviar looks gross.
Caviar is very good on the right sort of thing. I typically eat it with a slice of smoked salmon and a boiled egg.
It looks like a rabbit shat on that chicken nugget.
And what I was telling Herc was it's okay that you paid $100 for it if that combo somehow worked. If it didn't work, then you got screwed.
Yeah, Matthew Dominguez says a good one. The chicken eggs are good with chicken, but are fish eggs?
I don't see how mixing fish eggs, which are just really just salty, savory saltiness and umami, a little bit of umami in there too. I don't know how that's going to work with a chicken nugget. I'm not sure that works for me. So it could be a ripoff. Absolutely.
Let's see here. Oh my god. Hold on. Open a new tab. The caviar was $100. The food was 15, and there's 7. I'm not sure what the meal allowance. Oh, they're giving a meal allowance. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
I don't even know what would have been worth $15 in this if you take out the caviar.
Well, there's a sundae or something in the front there.
Oh, good call. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like it'd be worth it, but you're at the U.S. Open, you're going to get totally screwed by the prices. That's just how it goes. I haven't been to the U.S. Open ever. My brother's been, he went for a number of years in a row to U.S. Opens.
The nuggets are free.
Yeah. And by the way, I have to say this. The best caviar is not the most expensive caviar. I once bought a $90 bottle of caviar and said, disgusting compared to the cheaper caviar I used to buy. And I can't remember the brand name that used to be carried in normal stores. Now, the only place that carries that is that Whole Foods market place in Nora. They're the only one that carries caviar. So, and they don't carry the cheap stuff like the $8 to $10, like it's a tiny bottle, but it does the job. All right. I'm sure you've never had it.
Fuck no.
I think you'd be surprised. It's not what you think it is. All right. Eating caviar in a Ford Focus. Hell yeah, brother. I wouldn't do that, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah, just think of the mess.
I do have I have weird tastes in food and beer. They're extremely expensive. Yes.
No, it's not peculiar. That's snobbish.
Snobbery. It's snobbery. Yeah. Kind of like my music. Yep. A little bit of a snob when it comes to beer and food and music.
I think it was 6 nuggets there, Matthew. Hopefully that helps out. What
right.
$100 you're concerned with.
Yep. That's what you spent. Go ahead. What else we got?
while not necessarily talking about the U.S. Open Cup, that was U.S. in tennis, correct?
U.S. Open is tennis. Yeah. Last American went out this weekend.
We're
in the quarters.
We're gonna jump ship back to soccer now.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about the League's Cup. What Don Garber thinks he's gonna do to make things better next season.
Okay. I'm gonna try to say it like Don would. When you're creating something from scratch, you've got to always have the courage and confidence to take a step back. Maybe we do need to continue to evolve. We certainly did that leading into this year's League MLS/Liga MX matches, going all the way from the first to the quarterfinals. I kind of missed some games in between, but there have been a lot of games. There's been a lot of soccer this summer for all of you in the industry. You almost can't keep track of how many games take place. That matters to fans. In what way? To media partners. It matters to all of us who work in the business. So we'll take a step back with our partners at Liga MX and take a look at the format. I think it's just coincidental that 4 MLS teams made it to the end. It could have been 4 Liga MX teams, I suppose. The final could have been down there just as easily as it was here in Seattle. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the competition, but we all must always ask, do we have it right? Interview our players, our stakeholders, our fans. They're third, huh? Media partners, and see if there are ways we can improve. The fans come in third. Okay.
Hey, Don, that was a big fat nothing burger, what you just said there.
Blah, 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 blah. Yep.
Don Garber on possibly making changes. He doesn't talk about making changes. He says, hey, let's talk it over, and maybe we do need to make some changes. And this is the stupid part, because I'll argue the fact that the season or the scheduling is congested already, and they've added a new cup in there, which makes it even more congested. But this summer was different. I mean, you had the Gold Cup, you had Club World Cup, you had Nations League, and you had that was before the summer, I guess. But then you had a the Leagues Cup. I mean, there's a lot of shit going on this particular summer. Now, next summer's going to be pretty busy too, I guess.
This summer was pretty good for the most part, and they just got sick of it now, right when the Leagues Cup started, I suppose. All right, well, it's one way to look at it, I suppose.
There's so many games. Well, what that's telling me is that there are so fewer people actually watching Leagues Cup in that end.
Well, the stadiums were kind of bare in some of the games, so and I don't know who watched it on TV, and I don't think we're going to know those numbers either. So anyhow, just more kind of oatmeal.
I saw a quote with his on Twitter running around there, basically saying that, I understand that it's going to infuriate some people that we don't release the numbers or can't release the numbers or whatever it is.
We don't have the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's talking about, like, our partnership with Apple is great.
How can they not know the numbers? It's just weird.
No, they know the numbers. The problem is they could release the numbers, but then again, people are going to sit there and go, well, how many of those are like T-Mobile people that get it for free? How many of it are this person who gets it for free? You know?
It's amazing to me they can't break that down at this point. I mean, who's running their market?
They could. They don't want to.
Yeah. Okay. I believe that could be a problem. The problem.
Sticking with MLS and the Leagues Cup, we showed last show how some distinguished professionals acted poorly after losing to Seattle.
Oh, Suarez, and yeah.
Well, Suarez came out with a nice apology letter.
Yeah, who cares? Fuck him.
Well, I want to see if you can see what I see.
First, I'd like to congratulate the Seattle Sounders on their victory in the Leagues Cup. More importantly, I want to sincerely apologize for my behavior at the end of the match. It was a moment of high tension, frustration. While certain things happen after the final whistle that should not have, that does not excuse my reaction. Oh, they did something to you. Okay. I was wrong, even though they were wrong first, and I deeply regret it. This is not the example I want to set for my family. I don't want my kids spitting all over everybody who suffer from my mistakes, nor for my club, which does not deserve to be affected by such actions. I feel terrible. I feel terrible.
TRBL.
I feel terrible about what occurred and did not want to miss the opportunity to acknowledge it and apologize to everyone who felt disappointed by my conduct. How about the guy you spit on? You want to apologize to him? Jesus.
He doesn't.
What could he possibly said to you that would make you want? Did he say something about your mom? Your wife's a whore or what? I don't know. We still have a long season ahead, and I am fully committed. Yeah, he needs to be fully committed to somewhere. To working together with my teammates to achieve the success that this club and its supporters truly deserve. Thank you. All right, that's like taking no responsibility whatsoever and not even apologizing to the guys that you spit on. So, no, this is not much of an apology.
There's no way if you gave Suarez a piece of paper and pencil that he ever could come up with something like this.
He didn't write it, but...
No, he didn't write that. I don't even think he knew about it until it got released. It's like, hey, we're releasing an apology. Yeah, whatever.
Just don't make me look like I'm apologizing to the bastard I spit on. All right? You go to the apology all you want.
And to the guy I spit on, I should have bit you, you motherfucker.
That's why I was asking you earlier. Like, spitting on someone's just generally, especially in sports, disgusting.
At all. Come on. There's no like, oh, well, I guess maybe there is a segment out there that spitting is acceptable.
Well, if you're playing like a mixed doubles game, right? And after the match, you and the lady get together, there could be some spitting that was acceptable. But not during the match. You're not spitting on people. Like, there's no need for that extra lube during the tennis match. Or in this case, a soccer game, even after the soccer game. Nobody needs the lube. This is just people spitting on people that's like, I would rather you slap me in the face than spit on me.
You know, we should reel this back and stop talking about this. It is possible the guy from Seattle that he did spit on let Suarez know that is his kink, and he wanted it to happen.
He didn't look like he was getting kinky to me. Tax said in his video earlier that real men don't spit, they swallow. No, he didn't. No. I mean, he might have. Wink, wink. To Jeff Carey.
Those Brazilians, I swear.
Yeah. Yep. Anyhow, yeah, don't spit on people unless they're saying, yeah, please spit on me. I find it hot. All right. Otherwise, don't spit on them. Okay. Starfish, that name. You know it flashes in my head as soon as I see the name Starfish.
Patrick?
Right?
Patrick from
No.
SpongeBob?
Nope.
You're talking about Hope Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you are.
All right, Hope Solo, thank you for the remark, aka Starfish.
No. He did referring to vomit, though.
Oh, okay. No, you don't swallow vomit. That's a bad idea.
You threw up a little bit in your mouth. Yeah, it happens.
No, you just let it out. You don't.
I would, personally. There's no way I'm swallowing that shit. Fuck that.
No, I'm not swallowing. It's like burns on the way back down. Just get it out.
It's also fucking gross.
You do not swallow vomit. Nobody should be swallowing vomit. Not even the girls that do that act in the research I do swallow their vomit. No, sorry.
Spicy Jeff gonna clip that text video for sure.
Okay.
Not only that he's gonna put the quote on his van where he had to censor Tax
genitalia. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's genitalia. I'm sorry. The word genitalia always seems too small for me. Right? Oh, we had to,
it's probably better for you.
Yet we have to censor his genitalia. It just sounds like a small thing, genitalia, right?
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If they said, "Hey, we had to censor his junk," that'd be like, "Oh my god, that's a massive package, right?"
I mean, even if you said we have to censor his le coq sportif, you'd be like, "Oh, that's a long word."
Well, that's French, and that's cool. Anything with an accent's cool.
We're reading this book, obviously.
What if they had to censor his knob? Does it sound big?
He might have a big tip, though. Big
Fair
tip,
enough.
big end.
Bell end is bell end, yeah.
we're reading a book where the name cockerel keeps coming up because that's what the British call cocks, roosters. So they asked me, what's this cockerel thing? And I almost said, well, that's short for, and I can't say that in class. I said, that's short for rooster.
Yeah.
I almost said it.
Schlong. What about schlong?
Well,
Yes, is there a schlong?
I mean, in France, they call roosters cocks, and it's not a big deal. Right.
Sure.
COQ. All right. What else we got?
Kind of moving into some of the actual topic itself here.
Yeah. Good.
DNM posted a here are some of the U.S. men's national team players that are that guy for their club teams.
Okay. Well, they can be that guy, certainly. Right now, Jedi's not because he's still coming back from an injury.
That's fair. But when he is playing, he's assists. He's captain, and he's
captain. Yeah.
He's a pretty consistent player for Fulham.
I think Tyler Adams is definitely one of the guys on his team for sure.
He definitely was. He definitely was when he played for Leeds. I mean, God, Leeds went downhill once he got injured.
Yep, Des can be that guy for sure. Sargent, that's a little bit trickier because he definitely is the guy at Norwich, but doesn't always bring that same attitude.
Well,
national
this
team.
is for their club team. Don't even talk about the national team here.
Well, I'm just saying it doesn't always translate.
Well, that's fine. That's not the question here.
No. I have the right to add my own flavor to this post.
Right. And here, Josh Sargent likes to tap dance too. It's weird.
Yeah. Haji Wright. Yeah. Okay. He doesn't seem afraid when he comes to play for the national team. Aiden Morris, it's not a possibly. This season, it's been a reality. He has been the man for Middlesbrough. So I think.
But he hasn't been the man for the United States. Come on, we got to be consistent if you're going to say something.
Oh, I don't think he's gotten a whole lot of chances, so that's not fair.
Oh, but he's had chances with the national team. Actually, I didn't rate them at the time because they weren't that great.
But does Aiden Morris put out interviews with local Middlesbrough press where he pees his pants and says, I'm really nervous about playing for the national team?
Middlesbrough's press actually interview Aiden Morris.
Yeah, of course
the
they
bigger
do.
Question.
Of course they do.
I haven't seen it. You want to pull some up?
Yeah, you can pull them up. They exist. And there's some papers there too. And he doesn't go, I'm really nervous because I'm really not the dude, at the U.S. men's national team. It makes me nervous.
He doesn't have to talk about that because he's not the dude because he doesn't get called up.
I know, but Sargent says that. That's what my point is. Sargent does interviews with the Norwich press where he's like, I'm not the man when I go to the U.S. men's national team like I am here. It makes me nervous, and I know I got to go and perform, and oh boy. Like you could literally hear his anus puckering when he talks in that interview. And that was before his last call-up. So he better not do that again. He better come in this time and say, I'm the man, give me the ball, and let me do my thing. That's what I want to see from Joe Sargent, period.
Yeah, so these are 6 players that are that guy for their club teams.
I mean, that's fine. I don't know what point he's trying to get across, except for some people say, in our past teams, all our guys had these big responsibilities, and that's why they were so good. No, they weren't. They didn't have, Michael Bradley for a while at Chievo, Dempsey for Fulham. Okay, some of them make sense. Keller for whatever team he played with. Really.
Well, the argument is we have all these players that big teams, but most of them are just bit players or role players. They're not the guy on the team.
It's true.
Which I'm kind of surprised that Pulisic's not on there, quite frankly, because I feel like given the number of goals and assists he's gotten for AC Milan and how much of a difference he makes when he actually plays for them, I mean, there are other players that are that guy on the team, but I feel like he's up there with that.
Yeah, but he's listing people that aren't there. Pulisic's there, so that's why he's not on the list. I would say
doesn't necessarily specify that, but yeah, go ahead.
Pulisic is the man at Milan. He's one of at least a small handful.
Yeah.
Now McKennie, role player. Weah, role player.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of guys that are role players, so that's just a reality. But I think we got enough guys with actual, real jizz sticks that can claim that they're coming in as leaders.
I'm gonna flat out put it out there when Destin gets back, I think a lot of our problems gets resolved.
Yes, Des will be a breath of fresh air for sure. We'll get to see whether or not Arson gets held back a little so Des can make more runs upfield if we play a 4-2-3-1, which is possible. But I also think we could play 3 in the back too. I really do.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we played more or less with 3 in the back again when Scally was here.
right.
And we had Musa playing up as that, like, more or less that right winger / I guess you could lump him in as kind of a wing back at that point, but it wasn't much. I mean, he came back, I guess. So I guess he was the opposite to Jedi in that front.
And Freeman even had to play a bunch of 3 in the back too.
We talked about that. We talked about that on last week's show. I showed
Right.
the heat maps. So despite the fact that I mean, Freeman is very much a back who wants to push up. Surprisingly and oddly enough, during the Gold Cup, he spent a lot of his time back.
Because we went down the left side constantly.
Constantly.
It was so annoying watching that game. It's like, okay, so why don't we just telegraph to the whole universe that that's our game plan? Because that's all we're doing. And Freeman is definitely sitting at home. Well, that's the magic of Poch's genius as a tactical, whatever you want, savant. It's not any better than whatever Berhalter did. I have to say that. All right. It's probably less joystick, but it's just saying it's probably less joystick than Berhalter,
Sure.
but it's like, ramming through the same thing all day long, right? And I don't think Poch mentioned that he doesn't want to revert back to Berhalter ball just kicking around the shoehorn. But at the same time, when your attacking plan is so obvious and it's the same thing for a whole half, it's kind of like at what point you were like, yeah, they know. They absolutely know. So can we try some? Can Freeman get a chance to go forward at all? No. Well, I'm just predicting that they're going to probably play 3 in the back because Arfson's got to start on the left, I would think. But we'll find out. We'll find out.
Nope, I agree. Yep. I mean, what the hell did I just do?
What the hell did I just do?
I don't think that did anything to me. Okay, never mind. I had some key and it pulled up Google Help, so fuck off, Google.
Well, at least it didn't call up your porn collection.
Thank goodness, right? I keep that on a separate hard drive.
I mean your research. My bad.
I unplug the hard drive every time we start a show, so I make sure.
Oh, I definitely take out my jizz stick before we go. All right.
So Frank posts a starting 11 of players that are in the top 5 leagues in Europe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he talks about basically it's like, hey, and then he says whether or not you think Poch is dumb or the MLS or you're in the MLS quota camp or both, you got to be thinking, what the fuck are we doing? Because you look through this. All right, we got Balogun in there, Pulisic and Ware there. Tillman would be there, but he was injured.
Well, that's not why he's not there. He's not there. He's not injured right now because he just wanted him to get off to a good start at Leverkusen. Let's be honest. New club, new team.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like in the next 2 weeks they're actually having any games.
Doesn't matter. They're still practicing. They're on the field. They're practicing. So, yeah.
Oh, well.
Cardoso.
Why is Way there then?
Cardoso, same thing. We already talked about
this. This is the hypocrisy, though.
No. We already talked about why Way is there. Way is there because there's no depth at wing. Zero.
You push Arfston up. You bring in a second or another center back, and you play 3 in the back.
Maybe he doesn't want to play 3 in the back the whole time.
It's 2 fucking games.
Maybe he wants to try a couple formations. And honestly, he's already brought in Zendejas, who isn't called for ages, as depth.
Sure.
We don't know why Haji Wright wasn't called up, by the way.
I'm just saying we have an excuse for why some people aren't there, but then other people are there for the exact same reason, despite the fact they have the same criteria. You could call up anybody else. You could call up Griffin Yao. I know that Yao has no chance with the national team at this point, but I'm just saying, if you want to be consistent,
he barely knows Griffin Yao exists. Number one.
I agree.
Number two, the only reason that Balogun, same reason as a lot of these players like Cardoso and Tillman, He didn't want to call Balogun up. It's very clear. He just didn't have any more depth after Brian White. Who's he supposed to call up? PFOC?
I honestly don't think he even needed to replace him, quite frankly. I'm glad he did because I want Balogun in camp. But we had Downs and Sargent there. Those are two strikers.
I'm just telling you what I've been told.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Derek. I'm just saying.
And you could, if you're disagreeing with the people that have told me this, and Brian Schroeder, by the way, that's on you. I'm just telling you, I believe Brian. Brian's never bullshitted me and never put out an article that I've read that I thought, well, he's full of shit. He's full of shit. And he clearly stated that Cardoso was not there and Tillman because they're starting at brand new clubs and coach wanted to give those guys time to integrate, especially during the break. So, I don't know. I believe Brian. I'm sorry. And I believe the other people that I talked to as well.
It's just, again, I mean, who knows? There's maybe there's some drama behind the scenes with certain players and stuff like that.
Well, could be with Wright based on what we heard from camp, which was
one would imagine there has to be some drama between him and Scally and maybe even Weston at that point.
Well, the Scally thing could be the golf thing. I mean, that's gotten around so much now. I'm like, maybe that shit's true. Like everybody's talking about it.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, Edgar posted it, and I think it just made the rounds. I'm not discrediting or saying that Edgar's wrong.
I don't know if
he doesn't have any connections. I have no idea, but that's probably one of the more basic reasons. Just like how Matt Miazga kicked Berhalter's dog.
Well, it's closer to our actual information that was correct about Brooks.
Oh, sure.
Pissed off at halftime. Yeah. And then being called up ever again because of it. Yeah. That's true. I can confirm to you that that's a fucking true story. So
we've talked about it plenty already.
Right. Scally out right, Lund out left. I thought we were doing top 5 leagues. Why do we need Scally in this? We got Dest. Split Scally out left. We don't need Lund.
You could. No, that's a great point. You could have done that. Absolutely. I don't disagree with you on that.
I mean, like,
no. There's the issue. Holland's not. The Netherlands is the top 5 league.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you wanted to pick the top 11 players in Europe, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, Dest definitely should be on here, regardless of the fact that he's playing in Holland. Anyhow, we'll see how Lund does this season. We're only a handful of games into the season. He's not been bad so far. So maybe that'll work out for him in the Bundesliga. And maybe he should be reconsidered. I don't know if Poch even knows who he is.
I honestly think, and not saying that Lund has excelled in any matches really for the U.S., but I don't think he's ever been really just god-awful.
No, he's not been horrible, but he's just not really done anything.
He's been on the pitch.
He's never made you reach for the lube, right?
Sure. No, I agree. I mean, just look at that smile. I mean, what are you rubbing to at that point? Come on.
All right. So there is logic to this. I know people are saying there's not. There is the explanations I have gotten for every single player, except for one, Ariel. That's the only one I've got no explanation for at all.
Here's an interesting thing, and maybe I can't even say hit the threshold because he did end up calling Roldan at the end. But instead, I mean, if you want to be consistent with it, Weah should have been left at home, and you could have called in somebody like Brian Gutierrez. Now, I'm not saying I would call Brian Gutierrez over Weah. I'm just saying if you stick into the criteria that Poch is sending out there, hey, I didn't call these guys in there because I want them to have a good foot forward on their new club. Weah's starting at a new club. He just got playing time at his club, but I mean, if you're going with consistency, that's my issue.
I don't think Gutierrez is on the depth list, is what I'm telling you. He's not.
He was considered for the Gold Cup. He just didn't get called in, but he was considered.
Still not on their depth list for winger right now. And for what the way he wants to play, I think Goody's almost more of a center attacking midfielder, to be honest with you. The way he plays.
I mean, yes, I'll agree with you on that he should be vying for that 10 role. I'm not saying should be considered as the 10 option, but no, he plays out wide with Chicago from time to time. And mind you, he plays more centrally because Chicago relies on him. But
so, I think it's reasonable.
I'm providing it out. I'm providing it out for Poach to be consistent with what he's saying, basically.
I think he is being consistent because they didn't want to call Balogun either. That happened. That happened 2 days after they had to do a whole big rigmarole there. They had to call and say, "Hey, Brian White's not going to make it. And I know we told you didn't have to come, but now we need you to join us. Is that okay?" And of course, Balogun said, "I was happy to come," which was nice in his quote today. I'm glad he wanted to be there. But, that's the thing that pisses me off. I think a lot of these other guys that he didn't call because he thought he was doing a favor would really want to be here for this window, including McKennie, including Tessman. That's the thing that frustrates me. You're giving all these guys excuses like, let's let them work into their clubs. Is that really what's going on here? That's what you're saying. But it seems to me Balogun was happy as hell to get a call up. Maybe his club isn't. Sure, his club's like, hey, no. There's a time limit for this guy, by the way. Please, a time limit. Maybe 60 minutes per game, no more. Now, I'm sure they agreed to something. And I'm sure we will see him pulled. You're not going to play any more than 65 a game. But still, if you can do that for Balogun, then why not do it for all the other guys too? Oh, no, I've already seen McKennie. I already knew who he is. So, yeah, you're right. There is some ridiculousness about what he's doing is not rational. It's not rational. We got limited minutes left together with this team heading to the World Cup.
Here's the thing. He didn't have this is the same thing that Greg always floundered at as well by just providing too much context that wasn't really necessary to provide. He didn't have to say, hey, I didn't call this person up because they're starting at new clubs and I want to make sure they have it on the right foot, because that leaves you open for criticism when you call in this person over here. All you had to say is, hey, this is my last opportunity to really test players, to give a shot to players who might be on the fringe outside looking in. And I want to give them a look before we start really, nitty gritty going down to our.
But that wouldn't make any sense, though. But Brett, that wouldn't make any sense because you're calling up Pulisic and Weah.
Well, I mean, he can make the excuse that, hey, I wanted to call in certain key players that's going to be filling up the spine. The Sargent, Balogun in that sense now, because obviously that wouldn't have made any sense at the time. But Sargent, Pulisic, Adams, Richards.
This is a last chance for Sargent. He fits in the last chance category.
At this point, there's nobody. I mean, you haven't really tested Balogun. You haven't really tested Pepe because they've been injured during that time period. Maybe you tested Pepe a little bit there, but the only people who really tested has been White and Adjaman and Downs a little bit. But
I mean, I think this late call up with Roldan could have been Morris. Sure. Could have been Tessman. I mean, it is really late in the game for them to get on a plane to take that 24th spot. Not a big deal for Roldan to do it. I mean, that's a small couple-hour flight for him, maybe 3. But when you've already told a bunch of guys that, you can just stay at home, or you don't say anything to them, which is more likely because he doesn't talk to these people. So I'm sure a lot of them, like Scally, are sitting at home going, what did I do? What did I do?
Since we're talking about him, let's talk about him, I guess. U.S. men's national team burner says, feel like shit missing him right now. This is back in August. And then he goes, this was a joke. What have I done? So it's kind of humorous.
Yep.
But yeah, so here's Landon Donovan with a quote that I agree with.
Yes.
And for those who might consider us, constantly bashing Donovan and his takes and stuff like that, this goes to show that, hey, we disagree with stuff that he says, and when he says stuff that we agree with, we'll agree with stuff that he says.
Because this is bizarre.
Yeah,
there is no reason to be doing this right now.
Yeah.
There is no reason to be calling up Roldan and what's his face
Blackman.
Blackman. And Harriels shouldn't be there. And there are other guys that probably shouldn't be there either at this point. McGlynn, I don't care how much you like him. I don't think he's going to make the team, or he shouldn't. Not when the last bell rings. And
here's the issue, though. As of right now, our wing depth is pretty weak.
He's not a winger.
Possible.
He's not a winger.
Well, I mean, it depends where Poach plays him, because he plays.
Well, he's an idiot.
He's
an idiot if he plays him out right wing again.
Yeah, you give him his left foot cut in.
Oh yeah, that worked one time, and the whole rest of the window it didn't, because everybody figured it out. So no, yeah. I mean, listen, he should not be playing that position number one. He's slow as hell. That's not even a joke. It's just reality.
Oh, I mean, his best friend even specified as much.
Correct.
Paxton said, "Hey, guys, it's running gag." Even Charlie with half a knee couldn't outrun him.
Yeah, I think that what we're all figuring out here, I know we're all, a lot of people are saying it's all MLS quote or whatever, and or influence. I could agree to some extent it's the influence. But if you think this arrogant motherfucker is being told by anybody who to pick, I disagree. This is on Poach. He's doing this on his own with his own assistant coaches. They are doing this to us and to themselves, and their player pool knowledge. On several shows I watched today, this was the quote: he doesn't know the pool. He's throwing darts at a board. Because making the McKennie thing and the other, making that work, the Testmans and the Morrises and the established guys, making that work, that's work. It's work. Coming in and molding guys and making them do exactly what you say without any question whatsoever. And they've not been able to establish a culture in the past, so they have no idea what the culture is. And Poach tells them what the culture is, and they say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have to worry about any guys like, well, we didn't have to do that under Berhalter. Or, hey, we always got to play golf when Berhalter was coach. What's going on? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, this guy's full of himself. He's full of himself. As Alexi said, this guy is completely 100% bought into himself. So I think it ain't MLS and Don Garber giving this shit to us. It is Poach giving us this bullshit.
It's funny going back to like an old quote from Poach when talking about some of the performances where we didn't perform well with the A squad. Mm-hmm. And, he had talked about how, when certain times get tough, sometimes we fall back into old habits.
Yes.
And we took that as, the horseshoe, the play it around the back, slow transition, etc.
Well, that's what he did at the time, because he explained it.
No, I don't know how much of that he actually explained, or we just interpreted it. And I think we interpreted it correctly. Don't get me wrong.
No, he said passing it backwards. Safety. Playing safe passes. Okay. He said it.
Safe passes. I'll remember. Yeah. Okay. That sounds a little more familiar, but but you start thinking like maybe the old habits happens off the pitch as well, and that's why he's talking about.
Oh yeah, there's no.
You guys
doubt.
Come into camp and you guys fall back into old habits. That's not how we roll here.
Right? No, so, you're right there too.
Different ways of interpreting that.
I mean, he said that in so many different ways, in 3 different interviews. Yes, you're absolutely right. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one is boggling my mind right now. Let me give you a player. This guy started on MLS team over 2 other players who were in camp here. He has been the man of the match for 3 consecutive games now for his club at championship. This is Aiden Morris. If you don't know a whole lot about him, go watch Middlesbrough play. He started over Sean Swatsky and Berhalter in Columbus. Well, Berhalter's a little bit of a different player now than he was in Columbus, frankly.
He's 2 years older.
Yeah. He started over 2 very good central midfielders. Am I saying that Berhalter could go to Middlesbrough and do what Morris is doing right now? I don't think so. I don't. I think what Morris has become over his last 2 seasons at Middlesbrough is a special and a different type of player. And he had to battle injuries during that time, by the way, too. So,
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I'm going to pull up a conversation I was having with Soccer Dad and Callie. You can take the performances that you've seen at the national team level. You can take the performances you see at Vancouver, and you can extrapolate and say, would he be able to do what Aiden Morse is doing at Middlesbrough if he were in his place? I mean, it's possible that he's there
not
doing
right
it.
away. No,
but whether or not he performs there and stuff like that. Let me zoom out a little bit here so I can see what.
Do I think Berhalter could play in the championship? Yeah, I absolutely think he could.
Oh, sure.
I don't
doubt
know.
at all.
I don't know if he'd be the man of the team every game like Morris has done for 3 games in a row. I think that's a whole different request. But I think he could play there. Sure. I think he's good enough to do that.
Sure. I think you could absolutely play in the championship. No doubt. So Soccer Dad and Callie says, is Roldan a reach? Sure he is. I've never been a big Roldan fan, but if he makes U.S. men's national team better than player X, I'm in. A big thing was I doubt anybody's paid attention to Roldan's play since 2022, which I kind of agree with. My response to him was, I think hate, while a strong word, though accurate for some, for Roldan, stems from having seen him near 40 caps and not being awed.
Yeah.
Will he make the U.S. men's national team better than player X? We can assess based on past performances, but it's been 3 years and he's apparently been playing well at Seattle. So who knows until he tries? Maybe he's become a wiser player. I don't think he's going to be faster thought of process or faster on the pitch because he's 30 years old now. He's got to be wiser in what he does.
Yeah.
So if he can have a clean game and makes the right decisions, sure, he might come out and perform well. It's possible.
Can I say this much though?
The
way he is played by Schmetzer is perfect for him specifically.
Yeah.
Throwing him into Berhalter's way of playing or throwing him into the way Poch wants to play, it's just not the same thing. It's not. His role would be completely different in those two setups than the way Schmetzer plays. And by the way, one of the most underrated managers in MLS, I think, Brian Schmetzer. But the way Schmetzer puts him in and lines him up is perfect in Seattle for Christian Roldan. He flourishes there. And Seattle has been really good for years now because Brian Schmetzer is a lot better than people think he is. And so, you're talking about apples and oranges. Okay, maybe oranges and tangerines, right? Poch doesn't play like Schmetzer. Berhalter didn't set up like Schmetzer or play like him either. So if you're expecting some sort of translation to happen from there, I don't know if that's going to happen. But Schmetzer has done magic with that Sounders team. And even the young kids like Ralph Rocker, they're not really that young anymore, but, he brings in Vargas and a lot of younger guys from their academies and even out of college and make something of them. So,
yeah, right. I mean, the amount of pace that the amount of pace that Poch is requiring of his midfielders to play at, and the amount of ground expected cover,
right?
I mean, the Roldan of the Berhalter era, I don't think necessarily would have done as good of a job then, let alone a 3-year-older Roldan.
I don't think he's really lost the step, though. I mean, maybe I don't think he has. Watching the Seattle games I've watched this season, I think it's the best Roldan I've seen in his career.
I'm just saying he was never really that quick of thought and quick of pace, anyways. At the point,
he can't score either. I mean, he's good as. He's got some assists, but scoring.
Obviously, that was the big thing, too. Is like people are like, 34 games and no goals and whatever it was, 2 assists or whatever it was, whatever his stats are. And then somebody with the blue check mark, one of the pundits came back and says, "Are we really comparing goals and assists for a box-to-box 8?" I'm like, yeah.
Yes,
we are.
Absolutely. A box-to-box 8 should be providing more assists.
Yeah.
Than 2. I'm sorry. He just doesn't contribute. Now, okay, does he have some hockey assists? He certainly does.
I'm sure.
And those just don't show up in the stats. So I'll give him those. But I just think this is a weird call up, and I do understand it's a little late to call up Aiden Morris at this point, who's probably on vacation already. But you know what? Who came out off of vacation to go to play a U.S. men's national team game? Tim Ream. He was on his way to vacation at the airport when he got the call, and he said, "Honey, I think I'm going to go play a U.S. soccer game."
I feel like
vacation was canceled.
Aiden Morris isn't on vacation now.
I think he is. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's working his ass off at Middlesbrough.
Isn't the championship still playing games during this time period? They don't stop during international windows, do they? Or is that League One?
I believe they do. I
Is it
believe
League
they
One?
stop. League One doesn't. No.
That maybe I'm saying maybe that's a. Let's see.
I don't think there's no games coming up that I'm going to watch.
Yeah, next game's not until the 13th. So yeah, championship does end. But then again, Derek, he still has practices at Middlesbrough.
Not for a few days. They get like a couple days, like multiple days in a row off before they come back to training for the week before the league starts again. But you usually get like 4 or 5 days off in a row.
Well,
So
what the fuck's the point of we just got done talking about Tillman? You're like, well, they still have practices.
yes, Leverkusen will have optional practices for 4 or 5 days and then required practices for the next week.
Okay,
before the
then
season
why
restarts.
would you assume that Middlesbrough says, hey guys, take the next 7 days off and then come back 3 or 4 days before the league starts up again?
Because that's what's going to happen. Everybody gets a few days off, and then you're right back to training. That's how it goes.
Okay, then you can't say that Morris is already on vacation, but then not say anything about Tillman being on vacation or anything like that.
No, Tillman was completely already been absolutely decided weeks ago that he is at a new club with his team. They're going to give him a break. He's also coming off injury. They're not going to risk it. They're just going to let him have this break.
No, like literally like 20 minutes ago, you talked about the reason why Tillman's not coming because he's at a new club and they're going to have practices. That's literally what you said.
And he's coming off an injury. I'm sorry I didn't add that.
Then what about Cardoso?
I didn't add it then, so now
let's
it's
talk about
not.
Cardoso.
Is that not true?
Tillman, let's talk about Cardoso.
Is that not true? It's true.
Yes,
He's
that's
coming
true.
off an injury.
Okay. Fuck Tillman. Let's go to Cardoso then.
Okay, fine.
How is Cardoso any different than Aiden Morris? Outside the fact that he's at a new club.
He's already been told to take some
He's
time off.
He's gonna have multiple days off before he has to come back for
Brett,
practices 4 or 5 days prior to the game.
This is a moot argument. Of course, if it were you and I, all those guys would be on this fucking team.
It's just you.
All I'm
You
telling
use an
you,
excuse-
you're killing the messenger. You're killing the messenger.
No,
I'm telling you what his
you
excuse
have different
is.
excuses for two different people.
No, I am telling you what he is saying and what his excuses are, and you're acting like it's I made the excuse.
So he's like he could have called Aiden Morris, but he's already on vacation.
At this
Instead
point,
of-
he is.
It's no different
All
than
right.
Cardoso. It's no different than Cardoso.
And when you call up a guy who's already on vacation, you got to call up the club, and you got to make an agreement with the club.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That's how it works, Brett. You just don't call up a
Derek,
guy and
Derek.
not talk to the club too.
Derek, it's just when we talked about Cardoso, you're like, he's at a new club, he's got practices,
Yes.
blah blah blah. But then when we talk about Aiden
Not
Morris,
the
who's not
whole
at a new club,
time.
you're like, oh, but he's on vacation.
Not the whole time, Brett. Come on. Reality is these guys are going to get a little bit of break too. Catch their breath, get healthy, spend some time with their families, etc. They're not going to get the whole free 2 weeks free. They're not going to get that.
Well,
no.
My point, Derek, is that you can't just sit there and say, well, Aiden Morris could have been called in, but he's probably already on vacation.
Yep.
And not say the same thing about the other players who are in the same fucking boat.
Well, you know who's not on vacation? Yeah. The guy you just called up. That's the guy that's not on vacation and has been playing regularly and is just hours away. So it's just convenient.
I don't disagree with you on that. I don't disagree with you on that.
Who we've already established is lazy. So I don't know why you're arguing with me. I'm just telling you what Poch is doing. and you're arguing with me about it, and you may not like the inconsistencies of it. And I've already said
the inconsistency of your argument is what I'm saying.
No, not my argument. What Poach is doing, his argument. I'm saying it's ridiculous. Should have called up everybody. Tessman should be there. Cardoso should be there. McKenny should be. All the guys should be there. If you can make an exception for Balogun and call him up 2 days late, and he arrives at camp 2 days late, yeah, that's a bullshit. Then call up all the guys. Call them all up. I don't like this either. So don't make me out to be the bad guy. I think it's bullshit.
It's not that. It's your take on it. It's, obviously, you're saying it's what Poach is thinking. I agree with you on this, but it's just that you're like, well, we couldn't call him up because this is Poach's thought process. We couldn't call him up because he's new to the club and he's got practices.
So
and then talk about another player. You don't call up and say, well, he's already on vacation.
Okay, Roldan's called up today. Okay, out of the blue. Aiden Morris is probably on vacation right now. And who knows where that is? Spain.
I would bet you anything he is still in Middlesbrough.
Okay, well, you figure it out.
Making a grilled fucking cheese sandwich.
And I don't even know if Poach.
Fucking Gouda.
Dude, I don't even know if Poach fucking cares about Aiden Morris, number one.
Fair.
I don't think he fucking cares. I don't think if they're scouting him, I haven't heard about it. Okay? That's number one. Number two, he's not going to all of a sudden make Aiden Morris a priority. Not going to do it.
I mean, no, I'm not going to go that argument because I know what the argument
This guy doesn't know his pool. He doesn't know his pool. So why are you going to call
He should know Aiden Morris because he's called Aiden Morris up before.
One time. That's it. Believe it's only one camp.
Maybe.
Regardless, we're arguing over mouse turds here. I'm just telling you, A, Poach might not actually care about this player. Two, that guy's already left for vacation, so you're not going to call him, and you're not calling his club to make some deal with them so, he can get released. And even though it's a fucking international window, it's always what you do. You call the club, see where he's at, ask how he's doing. Can we have him? Is it okay? Are there any niggling injuries? Are there any injuries we need to worry about?
I don't think you specify it how. You don't say, hey, can we have him? You're saying, hey, it's a fucking international window. We're going to call him up.
You can do that. You can do that. Most managers don't do that.
I don't think U.S. managers are ever going to say, "Hey, can we have our player? That'd be great."
Just depends.
Fucking timid motherfuckers. Nobody's going to do that.
You call up and you talk to them about the state of the player, what their health situation is, how many minutes they've got.
If it's Malik Tillman who's coming off an injury, or if it's Balogun who's had a long series of injuries up until recently. Yeah, I understand. I get that. Serginho Dest, that makes sense too. He's just getting back at the end of last season, recovering all whatever. Makes sense. Not going to do that with somebody like Aiden Morris.
I would love for someone in the media to ask if Poach knew that Aiden Morris was man of the match 3 games in a row. And I bet you his answer is, I had no idea.
No,
I guarantee you that's the answer.
No, he would never say that. He'd be like, yes, but we decided to try out another player this window. That's what they say. He would never say, "Oh, I had no idea."
Christian Roldan's just too convenient, and the
100%
whole
agree with you on that.
MLS crowd's been calling for him to be called up now for weeks on end. That it's a fucking shame, including guys in the media like Lowry and everybody, been pushing this shit down everybody's throat that Roldan's got to get called up. For what? What are we really going to learn this late in the game with a 30-year-old Roldan? I would have rather called up your boy Gutierrez. Would have made much more sense. He's a young player. That would have made much more sense to me as a 24th player.
Well,
if you're going to call an MLS guy up.
Here's my thing. That's the weirdest take. Not the weirdest take. Sorry, I don't mean to say what you're just saying is weird or anything like that. But it's the weirdest thing is that he called and rolled on not because of some injury, but now we have a 24-man roster.
I think they had already talked about early on that one player would be added late.
Would be out what?
They had talked about a couple weeks ago that one player would be added late. I don't know why. I don't know who I got that from. So I wasn't surprised by it when I heard it today.
Oh, no. Again, it's just weird that they were settled on 24.
And it could be there was somebody with a niggling injury in practice in camp today, and they're like, "Oh, Okay, and we don't
That's
know who
fine.
that would possibly be. So let's call up the guy that's really close to where we're going to play. It's going to be like a 3-hour flight for him, and not some guy in Europe who's going to have to take multiple flights to where we are now and all that.
Where's the first game? Isn't it on the East Coast?
I thought it's on the East Coast, yes.
Yeah, it's like a 5-hour flight for him. Regardless, to your point, I agree. It's a matter of convenience. I don't know. It's just weird. Unless there is a player that's questionable because of some niggling injury, why you'd ever just call in 24 instead of calling up to 26? Why?
But the odd thing is,
26 anyways.
Yeah, the odd thing is somebody told me this, and not going to blame Brian or anybody else, but somebody told me I'd expect a late call up on this camp.
I thought I saw it on Twitter.
Maybe I saw it on
US
Twitter.
Soccer posted it or something like that.
I can't remember. Yeah,
a pundit or something. I remember
somebody said
like
it might have been Shredder. I don't know. Maybe I read it on Brian Shredder stuff. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it could be somebody else. So I'm not Brian. Not saying it was you. I can't remember. I'm old and I can't remember. Yeah. All right.
Where was it? Go back here. Hold 1 second. Where'd it go? All right, this is where we're at.
Oh,
Mr. Lowry.
2 things that can be true. I hope Christian Roldan starts next to Tyler Adams. Why? In the pair of friendlies this month. It's hilarious. This is funny to him. Somehow, this whole mess, this whole disaster is somehow funny to you. This is hilarious to you. You aren't concerned about the fucking total, like, this is like a mess. It's a total disaster what's going on right now. That the tenure of the U.S. men's national team highest profile, highest paid foreign manager is actively being defined by his love for MLS players. I don't know what's so funny about that. Can you find humor in that? The only way you can find humor in that is if you think that, I guess the coincidence or no, the irony, if you will, don't you think, is that we hired Poch because we thought he would finally get this actual real pool of players to come together and work together as a team. But instead, the exact opposite has happened. We have torn apart the core of this team, and now we're just dropping in little pigeon poops and seeing what happens.
The funny thing was, quite frankly, the bulk of U.S. fans don't have a problem with MLS players as long as they are good enough to give an opportunity to.
Most don't have a problem with Lou.
There are definitely going to be some fans out there that are like, fuck MLS. And that's fine. You can have your opinion on that. There's always going to be a couple of players that you could look at and say, like, well, he would fit in nicely, or he's waiting to get his move to Europe at this point. And you would be looking at now in MLS, who would be the players we'd be looking at? We'd look at Rain, who's on his way out, of course. But you have Luna. And then anybody else standing out? I mean, make your argument for Arsene, I guess. But if everybody's healthy, then I don't know.
I'd make an argument before Berhalter before I would Arsene.
Berhalter would be a good argument to be made too.
And
where to play Arsene though? Because here's the thing: if we're playing Arsene as Poch is playing him as the Jedi role, then at the point like, oh God, that's rough.
We're fucked.
But if you're looking at Arsene as a backup to say Pulisic, a winger.
Yeah, if he breaks his leg. Sure.
That wouldn't. Well, yeah, I mean, you have to have depth. I mean, Pulisic's not going to make. Unlike Jedi, if Jedi's healthy, unlike Jedi, Pulisic's not going to last 90 minutes for every game of a World Cup. He'll get gas at some point.
I just don't think Arsene makes the grade for me yet. And I do think that Poch deciding he's going to be a left wing back or a left back is a horrible decision. Yeah. Even at left wing back, he's still got to play defense. And that's just not his forte. If you play him as an out and out left winger, you don't have to worry about defense as much. But
I mean, if he has to play, if he's playing left wing back, and what we'd imagine would be a 3 center back setup, his defensive responsibilities would be limited. They would still be there. You'd still have some responsibilities, of course, but they would be limited, and you'd have more backup at that point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. No.
We got a question here. What do you think Attack's saying he doesn't believe in the MLS quota, but he believes heavy influence? I think heavy's even too much. There's certainly there is influence, but I just really tired of people who are not putting the blame on Poch. He took the job. He's a massively arrogant guy. Nobody's going to tell him what to do at U.S. Soccer. You think Matt Crocker's calling him up and going, hey, buddy? No. He's an arrogant prick who's taking the lazy, convenient way out of this after being pissed at the core guys. And now, after being pissed with the core guys and doing a camp without them, he's like, oh, well, these guys I can manipulate. I can manipulate these guys, these MLS guys. They will bow down and do whatever I say. The other guys were kind of a pain in the ass. They played golf. They had dinner with their friends, and they weren't focused on what I wanted them to focus on. These guys, I can say, I can kick them in the ass and tell them what the rules are, and they're going to follow the rules. Those guys didn't. Those guys were living back in the Berhalter days. And I don't want guys living back in the Berhalter days, because even as Berhalter said, we were getting soft. We were getting soft. We were getting undisciplined. Mm-hmm. So these guys that he's bringing in, he thinks this much of himself, that he could mold these second-rate players instead of using the first-rate players into what he wants, because he's more, as Lexi said, he's more worried about their personalities and their identities and whether or not they're going to listen to what he has to say, because Poch, as again Alexi said, has ultimate belief in himself, which is a little weird for also coming out with a quote today to say, well, I can't score the goals. Well, who's going to score the goals for all these second-rate players you're bringing in? Who's going to score the goals? Who? That's my question. So let's get off the quota thing and start blaming the real person, Poch. You want to go at this, blame Poch for being a shitty understander of the pool.
Well, you know the overall disservice that Poch is doing here is he's basically made the Gold Cup and the September window a super MLS heavy window.
Yeah.
And the issue here is that you don't have a good understanding of how they're going to interact with ultimately what would be a starting squad coming World Cup. Like, you have no idea how Berhalter would work with Adams and McKinney, with Pulisic and Weah or whoever else is playing up top together. Now, mind you, it's starting to incorporate a little bit. Now you got Pulisic, you got Weah, you got Balogun/Sargent, you got Adams. It's kind of forming a little bit there and everything. But you instead of throughout this entire tenure, and I know that he had to kind of become accustomed after a couple of scouting matches of MLS to really become accustomed to certain players, and maybe he got led into. But instead of bringing in like 3 or 4 players from MLS and having them incorporate with the team, giving them 10 minutes here, maybe a start there, you're kind of throwing this hodgepodge team together and say, do it, and they might do it, or you might just see 11 players running around like chickens with their head cut off.
And what if Blackman has a good game? He's just in.
Hold on. Yeah.
Or they're just in from here on out, and McKennie's out, and McKenzie's out. I mean, this is ridiculous at this point.
I was talking with Chambers on Twitter about it, and because he goes, I think it was Chambers. May have been Soccer Dad Cal. I'm not sure. One of the two. And they go, hey, worst case scenario, Roldan was here for one window. And I go, well, depending on who you're talking to, that might be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, good, it's only one window, he's out. But what if? What if he comes in there and he plays his balls off for those 2 games, does well, and he's part of the conversation moving forward, despite the fact maybe he was punching above his weight limit. Not saying that he wouldn't. Maybe he is up there at this point. I don't know. We'll see.
If we get to October and we're still doing this shit, we are in dire straits. And I don't mean the band. I mean the team. The team is going to be, I mean, there are going to be a lot of guys who, like Tessman, Morris, who are just going to be like, well, I don't know, Cardoso, who are just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I do think right now, this is just hopefully a passing phase of arrogance on Poch's part.
Well, from what we've heard, this is the last chance he has the opportunity to test certain players.
That's what he said.
By October, we should know where he is in his mindset.
God help us.
Who we're playing. I mean, not who we're playing, but I mean, who we're starting, who we are calling up. And I'm thinking personally, I think there's going to be still kind of a steady decline of some of these players out of the roster. And then come World Cup, it'll probably be more along the lines of what we kind of would have expected. And because I brought this comparison because I was like, even Klinsmann, with all of his tinkering, by the time the World Cup came around, realized who he had as his players and went back to what really works for them.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hate to think it's going to take any much longer. But Klinsmann also had to qualify, so he got to see a lot more. We don't have that luxury, and thus we got 6 games going forward to figure this shit out. And we're wasting 2 more, and at best we can get 7 or 8 more.
I think we have 6 games after this window.
Yeah. So
and then we have but here's the thing: we have the January window. We have the January window. If he wants to take a look at these players, January would have been the time.
Would have been, and he did. And he picked a handful out and he kept them. And then there was a lot bigger handful than we thought. So, yeah, I mean, listen, if this continues in October, we got real issues. And by the way, all of you complaining about this, keep complaining. Whether you think it's all Poch's fault, complain. If you think it's MLS influence, complain. If you think it's an MLS quota, even though I think that's crazy town, I support you in complaining. Complain. This is ridiculous what we're getting here. This is way worse than most of us ever thought under Berhalter. Berhalter was a shitty manager, but at least he picked the right players. I don't know. This is just weird. It's bizarre, as Landon Donovan put it. We agree, Landon. This is bizarre city. Julian Diaz for $4.99. I want Poch to go to Barca or Madrid. He's not going to either of those. But the thing is, they don't want him, correct. Crocker should fire Poch. He's not going to. They're buddies. I don't care about Poch anymore. Well, you got to care about him because he's the coach of the U.S. national team. And I don't mean care as in, suck his cock and balls or anything. I mean care as in he's gonna totally screw us over here by being so arrogant to think that he'd rather have a malleable club that he can shape than work with a bunch of players that living in a different culture prior with Berhalter that he needs to change because that's work. Changing culture is work. It's easier just to get rid of them and just pick the malleable guys that you can shape like clay into whatever you want and think you're a good enough manager to make that work. And we'll know in October if he's learned his lesson. Well, I thought I could do that, but I've learned my lesson, and these guys are quite not ready for prime time. They're not the lumps of clay. I thought I was getting exceptional clay, or at least very good clay, but even if I could shape them as far as individuals and their motivations and personalities, I can't shape the fact that they're technically not ready for that level. But we'll see about how arrogant he is. He's a pretty arrogant guy from what I understand. So
Pochettino had a nice little quote. He goes, with my coaching style, I could coach Barca. Yes.
Whatever. What an arrogant
But I would
guy.
never do it because I'm an Espanyol fan.
Arrogant.
Well, and here's how I respond to that. I go, with my coaching style, I can coach one of the best clubs with some of the best talent in the world. I honestly think one of the amenities that come up with the episode ideas for Family Guy could coach Barcelona.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, we've seen Barcelona managers fail. It's not as easy as he thinks. So, yes, he could coach. Could he be successful? I don't know. Why is he even talking about this shit? That's what I want to know. You ask me a question about Barcelona right now. I got one job. No, I'm not talking to you about Barcelona.
Yeah.
Next question. Yep.
Jeremiah Cole says 0 dual nats. What the fuck? We get Dest.
I mean, recruited, I guess.
Oh, him? Well, I mean, no Kai Banks, I guess, technically.
I mean, technically.
Did Banks play with our youth squads, though?
Yes.
Then, yeah, it's not recruiting. Never mind. He just called him a player.
Yep.
F that. Sycophant once pays $2, just wants us to kiss already. That's when we were having our little debate.
Oh. I'll just spit on Brett. How's that?
You spit on me while we're driving to Columbus. I'm kicking you out of the car.
Octui, baby.
Octua, yeah.
Yep. It'll be the good kind of spit, Brett. All right. Oh, I'm just kidding. We're not gay. All right. Although we got no problem with that. All right.
You do you, boo.
Yeah, you do you. Edgar Castillo for $4.99. Anytime Poach answers a question in Spanish, he comes off so arrogant. I knew this from the start. Laughing out loud. He thinks he is a soccer philosopher. Yeah, I thought we had that problem with Greg. I'm starting to understand we got even a bigger one here with Poach. Greg thought he was smarter than everybody else, too. And that was because he started hanging out with CEOs and doing interviews and going and speaking at leadership conferences or the immoral leadership conferences. Yeah. Full of themselves.
So there's also a running narrative as far as like people coming back and clapping back at Tack saying, hey, things aren't that we always thought things were going to get better with Poach, but things didn't get better. He's kind of admitting that, not that he was wrong at the time, because we all thought that change would be important, but in hindsight it was 2020. So I was responding to Dare Bastard. And I said, hindsight's always 2020 when talking about the change from Berhalter to Poach.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the call for Greg to be let go was due primarily to his unwillingness to bend from his system and player management. At the time, many were hoping that bringing in somebody like Poach would kick our A team in the collective butts. It would appear that they are as stubborn as Greg. This team has underperformed for 2 out of the last 4 coaches, starting with Greg and ending with Poach.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is putting the blame on the players as well as the coaches in question.
Yep.
So it's we all, it's not. I don't know necessarily if we thought that the grass was always going to be greener on the other side, but we thought it was going to be better than where we were at. So it's kind of greener. But we're finding out in this situation that it's so much the same, just with different type of craziness.
Yeah, it's same salad, just a barely different dressing at this point. So unfortunate. What else we got? Why, for whatever reason, my new comments. Let me go all over. I've been looking at the same comments for the last hour.
You silly bastard.
As if no one else has commented. Where is the button that says? Well, now it's working. Now it's going down. All right.
Yeah,
I don't know what made it stop, but it stopped. Yeah. All right. What else we got?
We got a quote here from Herc about Poach.
Yeah, and then we got something to watch from Poach.
We got the video coming up here shortly. Yeah.
Yeah. Pochettino was asked what's expected of him in the United States as the World Cup approaches. I can't score the goals, nor can I defend them. Will you have a strong team? Can you aim for something big? That's what we all want, right? We're in the middle of the process. I think it's really about shifting mentality. Soccer has to be understood as true football here. Fuck does that mean? If players in the U.S. keep seeing it only as entertainment, is he talking about the guys from Europe, as a show to please the fans, then it will be very hard to compete and achieve something meaningful. Oh, so changing the way Americans feel about soccer is completely the wrong way to go about it?
He's
Wow.
accepted. He's accepted the. Wait, is he not accepting it?
No, he's not.
He's not accepting the Berhalter mantra.
No, he's kicking Berhalter right in the balls.
He's
But
saying,
if we
"Fuck
start,
the fans."
yeah, fuck about pleasing the fans and winning them over. That's not what we're here to do. So Berhalter was full of shit. But if we start competing with seriousness, the sports demands, then yes, I believe we can perform well. We're not serious enough. Football isn't just about stepping onto the field to have fun. Keep going.
Oops, sorry.
It's about living a certain way, not having dinner with your funnies and playing golf, preparing yourself so you can bring that onto the pitch. We're laying the foundations now. Now? But the real question is whether we'll be ready in time. Oh, sounds like he's got his doubts. That's the challenge we face. Still, our goal is to help set the first stone. Whoa! We're laying down the first stone? Holy
No,
shit.
we were told that Copa was a stepping stone to the World Cup.
That was before. That was before him. So that in the future, the game will be understood differently here. He's laying down the first stone.
Poach, dude, you are here for like less than 2 years, about 2 years. You're not doing anything besides trying to get the current group to succeed. We don't need you to reform how fans view the game, how the youth are developed or anything like that. Leave that to the people here long term. And even then, I don't trust those motherfuckers.
Can you imagine?
All you have to do is make the team play properly. Get on your high horse.
Can you imagine this, Brett? Poach, second window with the first core group, says, "Why are we here?" Bunch of people raise their hands. Says, "Yes, you." Says, "What are we here to do?" "We are here to change the way Americans see U.S. soccer." And he probably shit his pants.
It's like, "Fuck you, you're cut. Get out of my house."
He's like, "What the fuck does that even mean?" We're not here to do that. We're here to be professionals and build a foundation and focus. That's all. Do all of you believe that? How many of you believe that? They all raised their hands. That's what Greg told us.
Well, I imagine they're like, "No, I don't believe."
Well, as soon as the first guy got shot down, I imagine
exactly right.
Aronson, right? You see,
You moron, we don't believe that at all.
Brendan Aronson raising his hand. "We're here to change the way America feels about U.S. soccer." And he probably said, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
It's like,
That's
"You
not what we're
dumb
here to
bastard."
do. We're here to build a team that's focused on winning the World Cup, dumb fucker. We don't care about the rest of that. If we do our job, the rest of that will come. But in essence, what we've been doing,
Do not come.
what Greg laid out, and that backfired, right? We're now not changing. In fact, we are changing the way U.S. fans feel about U.S. soccer. They hate the team. They loathe this team. So you've changed it, Greg. Good job. You started it. And now it's even worse than ever. All right.
So this was some Herc video.
Yeah, I had to go through it twice. I don't know if Herc knows, but his mic is broken.
It's super loud.
No, it is now. Because I had to boost it big time.
Oh, okay.
It was so
I listened to
quiet.
the first minute and a half. I'm like, God, that is loud. Is it just this room is echoey and it's booming or something? That's weird.
Yeah, no, the first version of it was so quiet I couldn't hear it at all with headphones on.
Well, it's weird because he also has like the mic like right up on his face.
It's not working, obviously.
It must be picking up the mic that was on the laptop. I would
More
imagine that's-
likely, yeah. That would be my guess. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look what he has to say. This is about the whether it's MLS quota or MLS influenced.
I don't believe there's an MLS quota. I do believe there's an MLS influence.
You hear the it has to be his computer mic because you hear the.
Yep. He doesn't know it right now, but that mic ain't working.
It's lit up too, though, man. It's weird.
I know, but it ain't picking up dick.
I do believe MLS influences some call-ups, some coaches. MLS is very good about inviting people out and come see the facilities, come see the headquarters, come do this, and look at what we're doing, look at what we're selling, and et cetera, et cetera. And there is.
So MLS wines and dines the U.S. coaches and says, hey, maybe you should take a look at this guy and this guy. Go scout this team. Go scout this team.
Yep.
The conflict of interest with Don Garber being on the board of directors at U.S. Soccer.
Major
but there is nobody specifically saying this many Major League Soccer players have to be called up, have to go. I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know necessarily if a quota, if you want to word it that way, has to be a specific number. But maybe the influence and quota can be the exact same thing, just
different. The definition of a quota.
Yeah. So
it has to be a certain number. That's a quota.
I'm just saying. Maybe it's an improper use of the terminology. Maybe because the quota itself, the word itself, stemmed from Klinsmann, and English is his second language. So who knows?
Being pressured to call up more MLS players is different than saying you have to call up 13 of them.
Yes,
MLS players.
I agree.
And there's no way that's happening. And people just simply, for whatever reason, maybe it's because they supported Poch being picked as the manager or whatever, they just cannot grasp or embrace the idea that this guy isn't what they thought he was. He's not good. He's horrible at looking at this pool. He's lazy. He'd rather shape a bunch of clay than shape a bunch of guys that been the core of this team, because it's going to be harder because the culture's already been formed by Berhalter. I don't want to have to shape a culture that Berhalter's already shaped, so it's easier for me to try all these new guys out and see if any of them pan out. Any of them will pan out. Please, God, will some of these guys pan out? Yes.
Here we go. This I feel like this is a great representation of what I was trying to get at.
It's
not my stepsister. It's my stepmom's daughter.
It's what I'm hearing. Now, I don't think people really understand how arrogant Poch is. He's going to do it his way. He's going to die on his hill. And this is his hill to die on. And I'm sure he's been told by multiple MLS guys how great MLS is. And he really should take a look. And yeah, he's really taking a look. Is that influence? Absolutely. But that's on that dumbass for taking their advice, honestly. And his own laziness as well.
$6 million. Yeah.
They pay him that either way.
I'm just saying where the donors come from, Derek.
They pay him $6 million whether he loses embarrassingly and embarrasses our whole country, or we lose and he gets paid $6 million and we have a shot because our best players are there. Okay? But he's lazy and he'd rather shape his own culture. And then if it works out somehow, he can say how big of a fucking genius he was. And if it doesn't, as I said before, he can just point at the player pool and say, well, those guys were lazy and they had no good culture, and the guys I brought in weren't good enough. Not my fault. I'm moving on to another club, and for sure, I'm going to get another club deal. So he's got nothing to lose. That's the problem with this guy. He's got nothing to lose. Either he looks good or he looks bad. It doesn't matter. He's got nothing to lose. Nothing. No chip. Does he care? Sure he does. He'd like to win. He does want to win. But if he loses, are there any grave consequences? No. He's moving on to other things. This ain't, Bob Bradley. This ain't, Bruce Arena, who are, for the most part, never ever got another big job again.
I feel like any MLS coach that coaches, I mean, hell, just look at a short-term interim coach, BJ Callahan, ends up getting another gig. Now, mind you, it's MLS, and maybe that it's it's equivalent to your presence. Obviously, Pochettino is greater than BA or Bradley or here. Same thing with Klinsmann. Klinsmann fits in the same mold as Pochettino in the sense where he can get another gig elsewhere because he has a historic past.
Oh, he'll be fine, regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
So he doesn't have to come in with a chip on his shoulder or say, I need to keep calling my core guys in until I get it right. No, he's just... And then he went all over media and shit all over them, too. It's not like he just said, I'm not calling him up for a while. He went on media. He went on Landon's show with Tim. He went on 2 other shows and said, these guys don't care. They don't, when they're called up, it's not their first priority. He said it over and over again. He has made his case for him doing what he's doing right now, which is, don't care. I'm going to call up people I want to try. He's doing it because he's an arrogant fuck. He's not the problem. They're the problem. Okay?
Tata Martino, pretty much the same thing. I'm sure Mauricio Pochettino at some point in time had MLS people in his ear, and he started seeing that in his mind, maybe the levels weren't too far off, and I'll call this guy in. Yeah, I'll do this. I'll do that. But nobody's saying, put these guys on the list. Because if you're telling me that's the case, I'm not buying it. So you're telling me Greg Berhalter, who's very much pro-MLS, in the World Cup, fielded an all-European team, but he's pro-MLS. But Greg Berhalter did that. And if he was pro-MLS at the World Cup, why not?
So, I don't like this argument when it comes to this. I'm not making the argument for the quote by any means. But, I mean, Berhalter ran heavy MLS for a while until he couldn't make the excuse not to.
Okay, but by the 3 years before the World Cup, that pretty much ended except for Ferreira. Yeah, Gold Cup doesn't count. We don't count that.
No.
That's all MLS Cup. We had Leggett, we had Acosta, we had Roldan, we had a smattering of defenders. That is nowhere near where we're at now. Nowhere near where we're at now.
I wonder before the First Nations League.
Dude, we are at 13 MLS players right now. 13. That's more than half the team.
Are you going to argue the massive favoritism comparison to what Berhalter was before he changed his ways? If you're talking about between the difference between 9 and 13,
what are you arguing? Berhalter was an MLS shill?
Yeah, he called in plenty of MLS guys early in his tenure.
Because that's all he knew. That's all he knew.
But I mean, he had the players in Europe too, though. We were arguing why wasn't Scally there? Why is Ariel starting over Wea? We made these arguments ad nauseum. Eventually, he had to bend because there is a difference. Yes,
he had to. Why? Because he told MLS to go fuck themselves and
No, he had to because the results weren't coming.
Okay, so it wasn't a quota.
No, I never argued for the quota.
You're kind of arguing for the quota for Berhalter by saying he called up all these
I'm
stills.
saying even Berhalter, because he's like, Berhalter fielded an entire European team in the World Cup. Berhalter didn't start that way, though. He had players that he favorited in MLS.
Can we keep it in context, though? He's talking specifically about the World Cup. When he had to make the real decision, Berhalter had started purely Euro teams, except for when Ferreira started that game. That was a horrible, horrible game for Ferreira and a complete embarrassment for MLS. So, and then BJ afterwards. How many players did BJ call up from MLS?
And he was an interim. He was an interim for how long?
And how many players?
I'm not saying this because of the quota.
Oh my God, Brett! You're an intern. If anyone can kick you in the ass and make you call up MLS players, it's when you're an intern manager. They couldn't do that to Hudson, and they couldn't do it to BJ either. So this whole idea that people are being pushed to push this.
Derek, I'm not making the argument for being pushed or a quota. I'm not making that argument. I even said it before I started.
Yeah, but why are you arguing with Herc? What he's saying is absolutely correct.
I'm saying that Berhalter didn't start there either, is my point.
It's where you finish.
That's fine. And come World Cup, if Poch fields an entire European squad, are you going to suck dick then?
No.
This is the argument we're having. It's not the World Cup yet.
So you think Poch is going to start an all-European team at the World Cup?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Exactly.
Well,
he's
okay,
not.
So a year leading into the World Cup, did we expect Berhalter to field an entire European squad in the World Cup? No. He had Miles. He had goalkeepers. He had Ariel Leggett was in the wings during qualifiers. They were all there. Kellen Acosta was there almost to the fucking end.
Yeah, but you're talking about a handful. We're at 13.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter because it's all what happens in the end, right, Derek?
No, because Berhalter, for the year out, wasn't still experimenting with 13 MLS players.
That's because he had 2 years. He had 2 years prior to that too, though.
So what we're saying, and what
cycle.
you're saying, and what I'm saying is true. This fucker doesn't know the pool.
That's fine.
He doesn't know the pool, and he's an arrogant fuck who thinks he can get away with making lazy picks.
Personally, I still think he's in the realm of sending a message. I don't think half of these fucking players he really considers viable for a World Cup call-up.
From your mouth to God's ears, Brett.
My whole point is that the only reason I even started this argument was that Herc was bringing up the point that, in the World Cup, Berhalter did this. But Berhalter had 4 fucking years to get to that point.
I'm still not getting
Berhalter in the process.
Berhalter, BJ, and Hudson have already done all the work for Poch.
I agree.
He should know who his core is already. This should not even be happening. Shouldn't be happening. Yeah.
We don't disagree on that, Eric. I'm just making an argument for this specific point. I don't like this specific point in time in Berhalter, he didn't do it. I agree that Hudson and BJ had their opportunities to get pushed and shoved around, or they could go out and they could show what they thought was right. And I think they did a really damn good job, quite frankly. And I don't think that they didn't get the gig because they didn't play MLS. I'm not making the argument about the quota. I'm just saying
good, because that's not true, and you know it. I know it. Yeah.
Narrowly looking at this one focus point in time and saying, look, no quota because of this. Well, again, there doesn't have to be a quota, but he was heavily MLS influenced for a long time there.
So all you're saying is Berhalter fucked around for a little while.
Yes.
Okay. He did. We had a lot of dumb call-ups. Yeah. But when it came down to the nitty-gritty, he called up the right guys.
Same argument I made for Klinsmann earlier in the show. Like, he fucked and tinkered around all the way leading up to the World Cup and then made the right decision in the end for the most part.
So you're hoping and praying that's what happens here. But I would say this. Neither Klinsmann or Berhalter fucked around this long, this deep into a World Cup.
Well, we say this long, but it's really only been the last 2 windows. The Gold Cup and now.
He's had a shorter window, but as I also said before, all the work's already been done for him. This should not be like a math quiz. He should have not a pool of 65, as he said in the interview.
Yeah.
He should have a pool of 40 at this point. It's ridiculous.
I don't even think 40s. I think he should be able to narrow it down to 30 at most.
I agree. But
maybe go to 40 if you're wanting to consider injuries. But, I mean, at this point, you should be like, hey, this is the bulk of my team. I want to give player X, Y, and Z a look.
I give him 40, though. 65? Are we joking here? No, we're not, because we're obviously seeing it. So, yeah, 65. All right, go ahead.
And I even made the argument earlier that it's stupid to have 2 windows that are just heavily MLS based, because you're setting them up for a disservice when it comes to how they perform. Because obviously, how Berhalter is going to play with Roldan and Adams is going to be different than, say, playing with McKinney and Adams.
Absolutely, but he's assuming. I can only assume he's like, well, McKinney and Adams have been playing each other for ages, so they already know how to play together. But
well, you have a ton of pundits that are like, man, I really hope the team starts clicking and gelling and building that chemistry. I'm like, they've had 6 fucking years to build the chemistry.
Yeah,
they've just been playing like shit, and there's various reasons for that. I mean, ones that we've built up in the fact that I just don't necessarily think that they give 100% to the national team.
Or as Berhalter said, they built a lax culture.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I just play an MLS team. He fielded an all-European team. And in the Nations League, in his last games, I believe there were only 1 or 2 players from Major League Soccer. And they were Miles Robinson and insert backup goalkeeper here. That was it. Everybody else was Europe. And I believe Alejandro Sendejas and 1 or 2 call-ups from elsewhere. But that was it. It was a pro-European team with Greg Berhalter. So I just think it's not that there's an MLS quota. I really feel that Mauricio Pochettino is a bad evaluator of talent and doesn't have the patience to deal with, in his mind, players, in his mind, that aren't that good or aren't that different. Do I think an Austin Trusty, Cameron Carter-Vickers? Do I think players like Joe Scally, Aiden Morris, Haji Wright? Do I feel some of these players in Europe who are left out, the Tanner Tessmans of the world? Do I feel Ricardo Pepi, Anthony Robinson, and I know Johnny Cardoso, they all have, asterisks of why they're not here. Weston McKinney, Mark McKenzie. Do I feel they're better than some of these Major League Soccer players that are on this list? Absolutely. Because I know the equity those players have within this team. I've seen them over the years. Mauricio Pochettino.
I mean, I know this isn't necessarily the video.
No, it's his personal account.
He's not gonna, regardless. But yeah,
he's
and
not
I know
gonna,
he was not going to fuck us over. Yeah.
No, he's not. So
yeah.
we know him.
But
so we're
still
good.
feel the need to pause from time to time.
I know you're getting nervous. I can see you're like,
I got to stop it here somewhere.
No, you don't have to. Herc's not hitting us on this one.
Doesn't. He hasn't. I don't feel he's a good evaluator of the pool that he has.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean there's an MLS quota. I understand why some fans can be led to believe this.
I do too.
Oftentimes pushed to believe this.
I made the joke because Max posted it too. He was also talking about how Berhalter at the Copa didn't really play many, if any, MLS players or whatever. Towards the end of his tenure. And I go, yeah, and he got fired for it.
No, he didn't. He got fired.
No, I know he didn't get fired for that.
I know.
Said that was a joke. Is that
I know he said it's a joke, but
at the end of his career, he wasn't playing any MLS players, and he got fired.
The reality is, Weah punched somebody in the face, and then he got fired.
He got fired. Yeah, he got fired for the crappy performances as a whole.
Yeah,
especially the games leading into it, except for the Brazil game.
Yeah, Kevin
0-0.
I don't think, Kevin, that he's lazy at evaluating players. What he's lazy about is the fact that there was this culture, and he's talked about it multiple times, so I don't want to go through the whole thing again. And even Berhalter admitted to this, that when he left the team, there was a lack of discipline, and it was too much fun and not enough focus. All right, Berhalter said that. And that was to the detriment of the team in his final window with the team. Well, that's what Berhalter, or Poch, inherited. And instead of building a new culture with this core of players, he has actively been going out looking to find a way to replace them. First, it was a pressure thing. Now I'm not sure it's just pressure. I think he actually thinks, because he's an arrogant fuck, that he can go out and focus on, as Alexi said, identity and personality. Doesn't need the best players. He needs players that are all in on his plan. Not guys that'll question it. Not guys that want to go play golf. Not guys that want to go have dinner with their girlfriends or their boyfriends or their family. He wants guys that are all in on it. It's a lot easier to do that when you can shape the dudes from MLS, and you can shape them and tell them what the rules are, and they're going to do exactly what you say, because they don't know any other culture except for what you are presenting them. It's harder work to change a culture that's already been set by Berhalter. Much harder with the core group. So there we go. I hope that will change, but he's losing time to shape that culture with the core group by consistently continuing this endless fucking experiment. So
Wes Smith says some contract ended after the 2022 World Cup, but MLS got to weasel their grubby hands back in when they footed the $6 million contract.
That's now how I understand how that deal went down. So they did make some calls, and yeah, I'm not exactly sure all the people that invested in that $6 million are all MLS dudes. I don't know. I'd like to see that list, but
yeah.
Hey, Larry,
I was kind of making the alluding to that point, not necessarily knowing if MLS owners fronted the $6 million bid, but I still don't believe that there is a quota by any means, because otherwise we would have seen more MLS players for the first 8 windows that Poch managed, or 6 windows, however many windows it was. So
Larry, you mute the show yourself. Put down that big jar of lube that you always have when watching the show.
Yeah, Larry said he was gonna go watch the Scuff podcast instead of our show until you sorry, I just noticed that E jumped into the conversation.
Yeah, I know. We need to end this show soon. So what else we got? Let's finish this and end it.
No, we got one little thing afterwards. We got to pick a starting 11 for the Saturday game.
Yeah.
Major League Soccer is not the bad guy.
It'll be quick.
There are a ton of things that Major League Soccer could do better, and it's not Europe. I get it. But it's vital for the national team and their setup to have a good domestic league. The best leagues in the world, at some point, the best national teams in the world, at some point, their players come through the domestic league. Argentina, who's arguably one of the top three teams to win the World Cup, the 2026 World Cup, and repeat. The Argentine League's not very good. The Argentine League is years beyond where some of their best players play. That's a reality. But they come through it. So there is value there.
Okay.
I would argue and say that their culture and the teams that produce players is the factor there. And yes, there are most of their best players do end up going to Europe in the end.
Nobody's gaslighting anybody, Fumar. If you want to believe that the arrogant motherfucker that is Poch is being told by Don Garber or anybody else who to pick, you're just off base. This dude is doing what he wants to do. He and all of his foreign assistant coaches are doing what they want to do. They got their reasons. It ain't because they're being paid to do it. It ain't because they're being told to do it. They don't give a shit. They're doing what they want to do. And frankly, the fact that we keep pushing this off as a quota gives him an out. Fuck that. Poach doesn't serve an out. Hold him accountable. This is bullshit. Keep complaining. Keep calling it out.
He's been telling me to mute you, and he's like, unmute him when he wants to sing.
Even flow. There you go. All right.
Larry thinks you have a wonderful, angelic singing voice.
It's
nice.
Derek, why so sure? Why so sure? Well, I know a lot of guys. I know some people on the inside. You don't have to take that. But I also know some guys that that are public about it, like Brian Schroeder. And I can tell you that's just what he's saying. I mean, and Brian's never been full of shit, ever.
I mean, barring having signed an NDA or anything like that, it would be foolish for there to be a quote-unquote official quota, because what's going to happen is Poach is going to leave. He's like, yeah, those motherfuckers paid me $6 million, but then they said I had to invite X, Y, and Z's.
I mean, the whole idea.
Then it's going to look even worse.
The whole idea that Matt Crocker is on the phone, or Don Garber, or whoever you want to imagine, JT Benson, that clown, is on the phone with Poach saying, you got to call up at least 13 MLS players. What a joke. No, not happening. So the quota was dead years ago, if there ever was one. And Yeah, this is just
really
Poach being Poach. Poach doing Poach things. He's arrogant. He thinks he can do whatever he wants.
I really do think the number of MLS players is really just a Poach sending a message still. I think he's saying, "Hey, fuck you guys for coming in here."
A little late to
really
be sending a message, though.
Well, he's got to do it at some point. I imagine you can't. I mean, if your team's coming in, your players are coming in, and they're lackadaisical and they're goofing off, and the performances on the pitch is shit, then you got to light a fire under their ass somehow. And how do you do it? You don't invite them back in.
This is way too long to be doing that. He already made his point. There's no point in doing this anymore. That's why I'm pretty concerned. Like, how long is this going to go on? He says October, but if in October we still got this going on, then yeah, we're in real trouble.
I would say the 13 is probably going to get cut in half. The problem with the 13 number, and even if you cut it in half, the tricky part there is obviously the 3 goalkeepers at this point are all going to be MLS based.
They
so
are.
That's already gonna inflate the numbers.
Unless
you think about it,
Jonathan makes it somehow. We'll see.
True. But it's already going to inflate the numbers. So I mean, if you think about it, if you cut the 13 in half and say we have 7 MLS players come October, that's really only talking about 4 field players. You think of like Freeman, Arston, Luna, and Berhalter. There we go. That's very possible.
Yes, Fumar.
Really possible.
My brother, yes, that's what Poach said. This is the last time he can fuck around. Yeah. Yep. That October is going to be the real window where he has to get serious. Seems a little like you're wasting some good friendlies to me. You wasted good friendlies against Switzerland and Turkey, and now we're wasting some good friendlies against goddamn Japan and Korea.
Oh,
good
that's the worst
quality.
It is.
The
next too. I'm like, we have wasted 4 quality friendlies when we have been starved for quality opposition.
Yes. And Poach is on record. Now, he's not going to use the word joking, Fumar, but he said, this is the last time I can try out new players, and this will be the last window I can try out new players. He said it. Go watch the interview. That's what he said.
I forgot Ream, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 3 keepers, Ream, Arvston, Luna.
I don't think I'll ever think of Ream as an MLS player. I really
easily have 8.
I have a hard time thinking of Ream as an MLS player since I watched him for all those years at Fulham. Sorry, it's just I got to get over that, but it's really difficult for me.
Yeah, so it's very, very possible. But let's finish this out, and then we'll do our 11, and then we'll end the show.
Yeah, I got to pee before you as you're working to bring up the 11. So
okay, you can go right. I'll finish this out if you want to go right now. This is the time to do it.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that.
Just, turn your mic. I'll mute you. We don't need to be hearing that. I mean, it's down the hall and all, but I mean, the mic picks up everything.
I value Major League Soccer to an extent with the national team. I get frustrated with Major League Soccer, not only with the national team. But don't buy into the MLS quota. There's an MLS influence, and the people at MLS are very good at influencing people. And they may have influenced Mauricio Pochettino, but this is more. Mauricio Pochettino saying, I value this more because it's not that different. He's not a good evaluator of his pool. That's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's down to terminology at the point. The whole idea of the quota, I don't think has ever really been a specific number, like you must invite or have this many people in. I think the idea behind a quota is just influence, quite frankly, and having a certain number of MLS players, not even a certain number of MLS players, but just having MLS influence in there. Even though Berhalter didn't necessarily play, or he started an entire European 11, there were MLS players within the roster. Obviously, we saw Ferreira. I mean, I can't really go back off the top of my head here, but there's still plenty there. So I think the idea is just the difference between quota being a specific number or quota and influence meaning the same thing in this instance.
Yeah, they're not the same thing. Quota's different from influence. Of course, MLS is pushing their fucking league and their players. And of course, a lot of people have probably whispered into his ears, oh, what about that guy? Hey, have you seen that guy? And that's why Max was talking about in the last 2 months, he's like seeing all of these, because he knows who they are, all the assistant coaches all over MLS, just like all over looking for players. And that started when he first was going to do the first punishment camp. Like, you're out because you're getting punished. And just like anything else, you bring in some guys and you're like, I can work with that. This guy's not bad. You know, I called him up. He does what I tell him to do. And maybe he's not as gifted, but at least he's not out playing golf or smoking at a hookah bar or hanging out with his family.
I had somebody was talking about the instances of the A team acting up and stuff, and somebody had mentioned, he goes, yeah, and we got a curfew during quarantine to smoke at a hookah bar, and then I responded to him, I go, actually, those are two separate instances.
Absolutely.
One happened in Nashville, and I think one happened during the Copa.
Yep.
he goes, I don't think that helps the argument. I'm like, I'm not arguing with you. I'm adding context. That's all I'm doing.
I thought the hookah bar thing was after a Leeds game, maybe. I don't know.
No. Hookah bar was stateside.
Either way.
I thought it was during a Copa match.
Might have been. Yeah, I can't remember. I just remember the hookah bar incident and somebody taking a photo of him at a hookah bar.
It was phenomenal that people were saying, like, that's not Weston McKinney. I'm like, bullshit, it's not Weston McKinney. Are you fucking me?
It is. It was. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So we got our goalkeepers. Let's talk about the starting 11 for against South Korea.
And we're only doing the start 11. It's going to be free.
11.
It's got to be freeze.
Well, we don't need to do the whole roster because we have the roster.
Yeah. Well, we could do backups and all that shit.
Nope. We've never done that before in our life.
All right. Freeze it is. And
I concur.
I think we're going to probably start with a 4-2-3-1. I don't think we're going straight to the back three right away. I think mostly because.
Yeah. I mean, I think in formation in the attack, it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. No, let me rephrase that. I think it's just going to be a 4-2-3-1, but I think in the attack, you're still going to have one back that's favoring back and then one back that's favoring up. And I think if you're looking at Dest playing right back and probably Arston playing left back, quite frankly.
Yep, that's what I think.
I think it's pretty. Dest.
And I think we're going Ream Richards in the middle, as always.
It better be. It's Blackman, right?
Yeah. Oh, this is a new thing you're using here.
I've used this before, but I can't do the backups like do with the other one. So this one is just nice to have like this.
Now, here's the big question. Of course, one of them's Adams.
Yeah.
And I've seen that being paired with Luca De La Torre with Alexi. And then I've also seen Tact go with McGlynn. I think it's neither. I think it's Berhalter.
I mean, that's what
I do.
Yeah.
I really feel like he loves this guy.
I mean, we had instances where it was Adams, Berhalter, and Luca De La Torre run that middle.
Yeah,
I mean that's how he ran some of the most of the Gold Cup.
I mean, yeah, Adams will mostly like be absolute cover for the back 2/4. Like he'll see him dip deep enough that he almost look like a third center back. I believe that's what we're going to see, and allow Berhalter to play more of an 8 than a 6. Yes, Pulisic, Weah, yeah, obviously.
George or Timothy?
Let's go with Timothy because George has got a Liberian flag. And And then in the middle, man, I wish Tillman was here. I really do. But it's going to be Luna probably.
Yeah, the only alternative, I guess, would be Seb playing up higher, and then Luca did, or playing with Seb and Luca as box to box is again like they did in the Gold Cup. I want to say it's Luna.
Yeah, and I think when you put Luna in the middle, don't be surprised if Luna and Pulisic flip flop constantly.
100%.
Yeah. That Pulisic cuts in a lot, and then Luna goes out wide. This would not shock me. In fact, if Luna started out at left wing and Pulisic started out as the CAM, I'm going with Sargent in the first game, and then I think you'll see Balogun get like 30 minutes, and I think there is an agreement on time limitation for Balogun, and then I think you'll see Balogun start the second game. It could be flip-flopped, but either way, I think both players will get 90 minutes or close to 80 or 90 minutes. And you might see at the very end of the game, depending how the game's going, 2 strikers. And if we go to 2 strikers, then you will see Luna come off and you will see, or Pulisic come off, and you will see Downs come on at the very end.
Yeah.
If we need a goal, bad. Yeah. So that's the prediction. There we go.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty reasonable. Based on what we've seen so far. But there it is. All right, for the 200
arguing here. See if there's any arguing going on, but I don't see any arguing.
No. For the 245 of you who were here tonight, thank you for coming out. We appreciate it. I thought it'd be a little bit bigger, frankly. Thursdays have been like way over 300, 400 sometimes. But anyhow,
it's for the game too, so
yeah, whatever. All right, but we do appreciate those of you who came out, and make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. If you can't deal with 2 people arguing with one another, then this isn't the show for you. Obviously, we're going to do that on occasion, and that's just how it is. So if you don't like conflict, probably
at the end of the show, even after the argument, look, smiles. Come on, guys, we're all adults here.
Brett and I are losing 0 sleep about these arguments.
I'm going to make a drink and go upstairs, watch a little YouTube, and go to sleep immediately. Sleep like a baby.
Maybe spank it a bit. Who knows? Anyhow.
For me again.
Oh, yeah. Go make your drink.
Yeah.
All right, so Brett can make his drink for his wife, and I can go take a shower and go to bed. Until next time, enjoy. We will not be calling the game live on Saturday. I will be visiting my parents, as I do every weekend, cooking them dinner, but we're going to watch the game together. Me, my mom, my dad are going to watch the game at their place on TNT. We will be back on Monday to discuss it with you. And then next week, we won't be calling the game as well with Japan, because we're going to be at the game. Brett and I will be at the game live. We'll probably do some filming. Maybe we'll have some
absolutely.
Share. Yeah,
we're gonna have to get some video, some B-roll footage, and get some videos out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe talk to a couple fans.
Yep.
See what's what.
Absolutely. All right. Until the next time, we'll see you soon.
That hurt.
Blowjobs are a no for me.
It is a skill. It is a practice skill. It is a necessary skill.
The secret to a great blowjob is saliva, saliva, saliva.
It's important for us to learn from this, because I think we lose because we beat ourselves.
You need to swallow it too.
I understand the problem here.
The people don't understand esophagus is the main player of the game.
Try to stay away from it as much as I can.
You can start by licking the dip.
I didn't understand it, but
Patrick Agyemang to Bambi, or a new